I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs spoon. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make a man and some pressure make a gemstone. Trying to put $1 to my name like Creflo. Not the boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. And I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, I'm scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know, breaking status quo, reaping what I sow, artistry like Django, get it from my mama hip, so thick that I need tempo, personality spicy, body banging like a bongo, cause black women been it since Timbuktu since Pharaoh, sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones, if you ain't for the culture then please stay out of my zone, these little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones, see I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there, if you want the battle ain't no problem, say where. I got so much experience I can't even play fair, but I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing you need endurance to go in. I got mileage on this pen, I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids. Took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. Turn all of my
guys were checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right.
Allegedly!
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant.
Judgment, Austin.
Chloe, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
Judgment, Austin.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a running. But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
Hey, yo, boss. I love him when he does that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to be here with you guys tonight on this Friday. Happy Friday to everyone tonight. And I see Chuchi is here. Chuchi, thank you for putting in the disclaimers tonight. As always, you know, I even got really spicy earlier today for daytime court. So, you know, it's always viewer discretion advised. I mean, we have lots of tough topics we go over. And G-Man Strong, thank you, Chuchi. And Little Miss Sharon is here. Good to see you, Little Miss Sharon. And Gail, so good to see you, Gail. We are still waiting on a venue for Devlin Tate. So, you know, up in Michigan where they live is a small area. And So I'm hoping that, one of the local churches will help out. Um, there was a little bit we can discuss, but I'm waiting to do a live on Devlin. And we're gonna do that um probably next week. Unless they're able to get a venue, then we'll do a live or something like that really quick. But I just kind of wanted to let you guys know about that. And thank you, Gail, too. Devlin's Army, there's a lot of people, a lot of good people. It's just been tough, because of how the other fundraising events have gone down. And we've covered it extensively here. So I'm just praying that we can get something good for them, for Devlin. So, and Bo is here. Good to see you, Bo. Thank you for being here. Ooh, you're going line dancing? Well, have fun. Have fun, girl. Oh, that's awesome, Bo. But thank you so much for coming in. And let's see, Sybil is here. Good to see you, Sybil. And Sasha, so good to see you. Hello, Witchy Mama. Witchy Mama, I'm gonna need to text you about some stupid idiots. Not you, but these stupid idiots. Um, you know, what's really funny is that some people are really, really dumb and they don't even know how dumb they are. So, I do have screen grabs, but I was really busy. I was trying to push out this content for Gannon, right? And then I got a little sidetracked with some bullshit. Look, guys, I don't know if you can see in the picture that I enhanced that Justin put up, right? And this was such a long time ago, and I'm just like so sick to death of hearing about it. Because if it's not true, I don't know why you're so bent, right? And if you guys hear chomping in the background, I'm not eating a bone, but Django is. So I apologize if you guys have earbuds in and you can hear the chomping. I think he's almost done with it. Either way, he's a good boy. So yeah, she I just have to get in touch with you, girl. But it's good to see you. And Sasha is here. Sasha, I'm right there with you. I think the police need to wake up. I will say that there's been a couple cases here lately. We talked about the protocols and the what was done, what wasn't done. We're going to still be talking about that some more tonight. Um, but some of them just really need to get their shit together, right? So, oh, Kylie. Hey, Kylie. Kylie says, Lady Freedom in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kylie. Thank you for being here. And, um, yeah, I agree, Sasha. I agree. Moab did a horrible job, right? That's the reason why I'm right there with you with, yeah, Gabby and Brian probably would have still been here. You know, DV is a tough situation, super toxic. Um, and it's hard to get out of it, you know? So there's no telling what would have happened. Um, there's just no telling. And when you're young and you're headstrong like that, you're like, "Oh, nothing's gonna happen." You don't think that a person that's supposed to love you is capable of actually hurting you like that. So, but super sad. I think that the way it was handled, the police officers in Moab, in my opinion, in Gabby Petito's case, didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to DV, um, domestic violence. So, and so good to see you, Detroit. Thank you for being here. And Brenda is here. Hey, Brenda. And let's see, guys. I don't want to miss anybody. Hey, Trishy. Good to see you, Trishy. And Holly is here. Hello, Holly. So, yeah, we have a great show planned for tonight, guys. And Brad is here. Hey, Brad. And Holly, thank you for the super sticker. That's so sweet of you. Aw, thank you so much. And let's see, I want to make sure I get, hey, my PTSD, good to see you. For Devlin, I may be able to provide some keychains with his photo or whatever design, but it would be materials I have. I do sublimation. Oh, cool. But I'd be glad to provide something just depending. Oh, cool. That is awesome, my PTSD. Wow, that's amazing. So, I need to check into the Discord. I haven't even been in there. But I will hit you up on Discord on that. Because that's amazing. I think anything that we can do. I know that Tamara has her heart set on a couple of things, but if maybe we can help out with some things, that would be fantastic. Um, it's horrible timing for me because I have a trip to take and the freaking gas prices. I'm not even trying to keep up with it because I'm afraid to look and calculate how much this fucking gas is going to cost me to drive where I need to drive. So, yeah, I just don't want to make too much of a commitment, but also I want to help too. So that would be fantastic. Any ideas that you guys have too? I made a short with all of the flyers and stuff like that as well. Are you okay? You just guzzled that water down like a champ. All right. So, um, that would be awesome. My PTSD. I'll get together with you in the Discord. Holly says, I'm so sick of hearing it called the blob picture. Yeah. Anybody that calls it the blob picture, I want to smack them. No, I'm teasing. No, I know it, I feel you on that. Talk about gaslighting. I know. I mean, I get it. Like, look, this is why when I put the picture up, I said, do you see what I see? Right. And I told you guys what I saw. I said it, I've labeled this shit, and why are they so bent out of shape? Because there's a couple people that have said that too. Like, what's the deal? If it's nothing, then why are they still talking about it? They're like relentless about it too. And I'm on the most hated list because I did a freaking enhancement on it. And Nancy Grace wanted to put part of my video, it's a small little piece of my video, right, on her show. And they flipped their lids because they're jealous as fuck. Right? It's not my problem, that you don't try to put any effort or work into anything. Y'all just like to talk shit on each other. You don't even try. That's what happens when you actually put in some effort, right? Look at Gray Hughes. He's always, or Gray Pubes. I call him Gray Pubes. But he's always on like court TV and shit like that because he actually tries. I guess they like him. I don't care for the man, but that's just me. Either way, hello, Marion. Good to see you. But yeah, it's not a blob. I know where it came from. I know a fair amount about it, right? I was lied to at first about where it came from, right? I had to do a little digging. Justin had that photo up for a long time before I took it and slapped some filters on it and made a video. So I don't know what the deal is, Hey Paige, I don't know what the deal is because they're like obsessed with it. And this is like a year ago, right? Because I had just started going live. I went live in beginning in December, right, on my birthday. That's the year anniversary of me going live on YouTube. So then that was a couple of months later in February. Somebody sent me the picture. I didn't even steal it from Justin and do anything with it. Somebody sent it to me and was like, oh, look, it looks like Chris and Katie, you're carrying something. I'm like, well, by God, it does. Hey, couponing, super sleuth. So yeah, I mean, come the fuck on. Besides that, get a fucking life, dude, and get a fucking clue while you're at it. Because it's tired. It really is tired. I'm glad you guys love talking about the bullshit so much. It's unreal. And that's why I got to talk to Witchy because somehow just because people have this, similar screen name and they're too stupid to recognize it's a similar screen name, it's not even the exact same one. Oh, I think they're cloning my people. Well, you're stupid. You're a real fucking dumb shit. I can't believe you've ever fucking thought you were going to do anything in a true crime sector where you actually have to use critical thinking skills. I mean, it's unreal. I'm so over it. You know, Gail, they're so jealous. It's so jealous, right? And the only thing that Nancy Grace, I still have the fucking audio from it because she took the video down or whatever. But she says my friend Lady Freedom did this video. She shows like fucking not even a minute of my video, Gail. And they are so fucking jealous and butthurt. And all I did is try a little bit, Gail. I'm not even fucking good with photography, right? My program isn't state of the art. It's it's an app on my phone. I mean, and it's like I appreciate, you know, that Nancy's like, wow, they did a really good job on this, right? But I didn't use any type of special anything on it. You know, a 5-year-old could have done what I did. Golly. And then they make a huge deal out of it and call it fake and I'm Lady Fraud or whatever they fucking call me. Well, I mean, look, everybody was real excited about the photo when I was getting all kinds of positive accolades for it on YouTube. Bullhorn Betty was kind enough to share it. There were some other creators out there that were very, you know, excited to share it and liked what I did because I showed you guys the whole process, start to finish. And then they turn around and get so fucking pissed off just because Nancy Grace wants to show it. So you got the hate channels that are pissed the fuck off because, you know, who the fuck does she think she is getting on Nancy Grace? She's not even been on YouTube for a whole entire year. My second year on YouTube just happened at the end of March. Right? So they're fucking pissed. Well, good for them. Maybe they can work a little bit harder. What happened to that? What happened to when you want to do better, you try harder? Dumbasses. And now you're still talking. Like, fucking get a life. Get off my shit. Sam says, Lady Freedom, don't ever lower your skill to meet their level. Thank you, Sam. Fuck that. You don't have to try. You say, and look where you landed. Thank you, Nancy Grace. She said I was her friend, Sam, but then I did go, I was upset with Nancy Grace because then she had stupid ass SF investigates. Fish boy, you know, on there. And I'm like, damn, dude, maybe I should get some drone footage and fly it over people's houses. Maybe I'll get back on Nancy, you know, because it does bother me, guys. You know what? I like Nancy Grace. I do. I like her a lot, right? I've watched her for years. Always looked up to the lady. But let me tell you something. When she takes down the entire video and doesn't at least still have Seth up there talking and still have a show about Sebastian, that bothered me a little bit. Because you know what? If you don't want the hate that was associated and the shit that was associated with it, because the hate channels just said a couple months ago that they had that taken down. Oh, we had that taken down. Haha, we're really proud of ourselves. Okay, they had it taken down. Fine. We'll go with that. You had it taken down. Right? But why did she take the whole fucking episode down? That's what really pissed me off. Because here's Sebastian's story, and he didn't even get a chance to have it on Nancy Grace again. Right? Because she just scrapped the whole thing. Because she didn't want the heat, right? From the creepy Proudfoots. You know, they've always been very nervous about that video, guys. Katie even started cracking her knuckles, and it was in Chronicles of Olivia. Hey, bud. Chronicles of Olivia. She starts cracking her knuckles, and then Chris takes over the conversation. You know, when you start popping your knuckles, it's kind of if it's not something that you do all the time, it can be seemed as attention releasing body language, right? Al Stout does it. He did it last night. He's about to do it again in the video I'm going to show you at the other part of his interview. Guys, it releases attention. They've always been nervous about that particular video, and then that picture comes out. So, you know, prove me wrong that it's nothing, because it certainly seems like something when you have a bunch of your bulldogs that have no manners, that are, I mean, they sit there and complain, "Oh my god, I get doxxed," and then, they're doxing everybody. And if I find out that they're gonna continue on and on, it's going to be something that I will handle. So, like I said, just leave me out of it. Why are you so worried about a photo that you think is fake? Right? Maybe you should just get a game plan with your face and leave it at that. I mean, maybe try that. Because you always like to talk about, my looks, my lipstick, whatever. Get a life. I heard him talking shit about Jules. It's just, it just kind of pisses me off because all they do is sit there and play other people's content. And again, they don't try. Well, how are you going to get on Nancy Grace if you don't do any type of powerful analysis of a case when she's in true crime? How do you expect to get on there or have that be a part of her show if you're playing Brittany J's content or talking shit about one of the YouTube creators? Because that's all you're ever going to be, and that's all you're ever going to do with your time. I mean, that's up to you. But don't be jealous of me because I actually worked for it. I got that picture. I stayed up all fucking night worrying about that picture. I was like, oh my God, it certainly does look like someone's being carried. Sounds like what Bobby the neighbor was talking about. I mean, if it's nothing, then they're making a whole lot of something about nothing. Because my videos are up. My original posts are up. I never taken that shit down. Unless YouTube decides to take it down, then that's their prerogative. But I will always have that up. Always. Because I'm standing on what I did. And all I did was take it from Justin, right? Who had been working on it with his team. And I decided to try to, make it a little bit more visible. And the one thing that I found when I was changing the filters is that certain aspects of the photo stayed the same. And that's what Nancy was really interested in, right? She thought that was pretty interesting that I showed that entire process. I was completely transparent, So go fuck yourself with the fraud bullshit. Like, seriously, fuck yourself with that shit. I mean, couponing, that's what I'm saying. It is a huge red flag to me. That's still to this day. Now, it's not like I'm sitting over here every single day being like, "Oh, look, guys, look at the picture. Come on, come on." No, I mean, we've moved on. We're still trying to work out what's going on because, again, like I said this afternoon, it doesn't matter how Sebastian got out of the house. At the end of the day, where is he? Where'd they take him to? What'd they do? We still don't know that. That's the most important piece. So I'm already over it. I don't give a shit how we got out of the house. I mean, that's for the police. They should have that information. But obviously they didn't do their fucking job. Sheriff Craddock is too busy putting out his flyers and his signs. Oh, look, vote for me. Vote for you for what? Ain't nobody running against you, fool. It's so sick. It's sick. Right? No, you're fine couponing. Thank you for saying that, in my opinion. Yeah. But it gets to the end of the day where it's like, you know what? Fucking opinion. Look, I'm showing you the proof. They're saying it, It's like, and the third strike, this was multi-jurisdictional and should have been with the feds because the evidence dictates their expertise is needed. Well, and they came out to assist in the first 7 days, Sasha. And, of course, we're going to talk about that as we go along here a little bit. Because it's important, I think, to discuss. I mean, here's the thing. They had all of these resources, but they had them working under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. So you might as well just, flush the resources right down the toilet. Because, in my opinion, if Sebastian got into a vehicle, then they're not going to be in the area, the immediate area. That opens it up very wide, right? If someone's on foot, it kind of closes and narrows down the options. If you're in a car, yeah, well, Chris knew which license plate readers were working in the whole fucking 9 yards. Well, and that's the sad thing, Lover Girl, and I hate to lose faith in law enforcement, but I will say my freaking faith in law enforcement when it comes to Sumner County was shattered when I saw Seth out there by himself and no one coming out and no one trying to, talk with him. And then I saw it with my own two eyes being there and experienced it for myself. They don't give a flying fuck, a bunch of jerks. So what I do want to show you guys in that light, because I don't like to use absolutes for anything, because nothing is absolutely right. Nothing, most of it is a black and white area. But I absolutely know that Sebastian didn't just go poof. All right, so this is going to be some audio, and we're going to go over some of. Actually, wasn't there? Let me make sure I got the right video. Hold on one second. Here, that's Al's. Give me a sec. Let me see if I got Starbucks interview. Okay. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say I put it out 2 days. Okay, I want to just make sure that I got the right one. I apologize. I just didn't want it to be Daisy. All right. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah. All right. Sonic 4 Gannon. All right. So I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to show you guys some Google searches, right, that Letitia performed. Now, Katie had an iWatch. iWatches will get you down to what your pulse was, how many fucking steps you took, the whole 9 yards. Again, where is this information and how is it being used to find Sebastian? All right. Or at least get their asses in there without a lawyer present, and question the shit out of them. You know, or with their lawyer present. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here, coming at you with another raw narrative. Today, we will be discussing Gannon's story. G-Man grew to become all of our hero. Now, years after his stepmomster was brought to justice, the same court system failed Gannon Stout. He never deserved any of this, not one single bit of it. Let's watch. Okay, guys, so these are Letitia Stauch's phone web searches January 21st, 2020 through January 29th, 2020. They were entered in as evidence in the People versus Letitia Stauch. These web searches are not only bone-chilling, but they're also very incriminating. On January 21st, 2020, Letitia Stauch Google searches Landon Marie Hoyt, which we know that is Gannon's biological mother. 5 minutes later, Letitia searches U-Haul truck rentals, and then 2 minutes later, it's U-Haul truck rates, Colorado Springs, Colorado to Orlando, Florida. Okay, so really quick, guys, because I did a voiceover for some of this in case some people were watching it, just in the video form. So we see that Letitia has some timestamps, right? So on the 21st, she's searching some things around 9:05 p.m. till 9:15 p.m., right? And she's checking out for U-Haul trucks. She's definitely thinking about coming to Orlando, right? And then she's putting some dates in. The first one that she checks out is going to be 1/22/2020, and the next one 2/6/2020. Now, we know that Gannon was reported missing on 1/27/2020, right? January 27th. Um, Fucking creepy ass bitch right here. Look at this. I swear to God, it's the weirdest thing ever. So you're Google searching your ex or your husband's ex. That's weird. For what? Especially at that junction in your relationship, right? Like maybe in the beginning, you might check her out, right? Because that's like, the kid's mom and stuff, and you want to make sure they're all right. And I don't know, you don't want to step in shit or have a bunch of drama in your life. So I get that part. But to do that on the 21st, 6 days before Gannon went missing, and just Google her name, and it's going to get weirder with some of the things that she Google searched. So then she's looking on the 24th. So, some things happened in between, it's going to be 3 days later. And then in the evening here, she's on the 24th, she's looking for jobs, employment in Myrtle Beach, Indeed.com. Sometimes you just leave and take nothing. That's what she typed into the Google search. She also talks to the Google search like it's a fucking magic ball, right? Like where she's like, oh, should I leave my husband, right? Or, oh my gosh, should I just leave everything? Just kind of really weird, Hey, little Miss Sharon. So, it's just so weird. Thank you, Trishy. Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're excited about the comparison. It's so important, guys. Like I said earlier in the day show, I watched this and I also shared it out. It is the newest documentary on Kyron Horman, and so many of the things that we're doing with this and the comparison is the steps that the FBI is taking to reopen Gannon's case as like a cold case. Not really reopen it. I guess that's a poor choice of words, but either way, they're examining other cases against his that are similar and trying to figure out what happened. So, that's what we're doing here. Then she starts looking for jobs in California, which is weird. LA, right? So 125. The very next day, around, in the morning, right? She is searching for jobs on the, opposite end of, on the West Coast. She was looking for jobs on the East Coast. This lady's all over the place, right? And then she's searching later on in the afternoon for find real military singles, military dating and singles at mymilitarycupid.com, trademark. So I guess it's like an actual site. And then you have, after that, parenting should be 4 people, not 1. I'm overdoing all the work for my stepson's kids and their mom doesn't help. Okay, so this is what we were talking about earlier as well. Letitia did not like having to look after the children. She just didn't want to. She had no desire to do it. Didn't even have a desire to speak, and spend time with her own daughter, in my opinion. Okay, so then, and, again, I'll show you some supporting evidence to back that up. Because I'm not trying to be mean when I say that. I'm just trying to be matter of fact. Then she says, if you aren't involved, it's your kid's life. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. Okay, so I don't know what pops up when you type that in, but this is exactly what she was searching, right? And she did that on the 25th too. She was very hot and heavy searching shit, like manically searching things on the 25th. And it's just weird. And again, treating it like an 8-ball. My husband's ex-wife does nothing for her. It says lids. I think she means kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raised her kids. What the fuck is that? One day, some people will wish they had treated you differently. That one sticks out to me. Again, find a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Which one is it, Letitia? Find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. So again, these are the Google searches that I believe Letitia was absolutely going over, right? In her mind, she's thinking about this and she's like, Al doesn't give me enough to do this, right? I don't get paid enough to take care of his fucking kids, right? And that is her mindset, I believe. So she's looking for a guy that would, right? Which is weird. And it's weird how she types it in. So she wants a rich guy. She feels like she's not getting, I guess enough gifts or something. I don't know what it is that she needs if she's got a big ass house with fucking food in it. So you got food and shelter. What's your fucking problem, right? But again, there's something that she's not getting out of Al. I know they went on cruise. They went, he's in the military. It seems like they would travel around and do things, right, as a family and then independently. So again, I don't know what she's searching for, but one minute she's pissed off because she's taking care of his kids, and the next thing she's looking for another dude to prey on. The scariest thing about this whole situation is what happened to Gannon and the fact that she's dealing and searching about kids. What a fucking weirdo. And then and it also shows that she dehumanizes everyone and she looks at everyone as a pawn for what she can get out of them, not what she can bring to the table, or the fact that, there's other things that mean more in life than money and things like that. Just want to point it out. What a monster. So again, she's searching in the afternoon, 1:54 p.m. One day, some people will think that one day some people will wish they treated you differently, and then she jumps back into apartments for rent, right? So about the evening time at 9 o'clock, she just starts searching on the 25th. She's looking for a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment, but where is Harley going to stay? What's Harley going to do, right? Also, she's searching for apartments in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? So again, she's back to the East Coast. She's also looking on Craigslist, South Florida jobs, apartments for sale, services, community, and events, right? And then she's also searching South Florida rooms and shares Craigslist, which again, she's not accounting for Harley. Then again, I think also Harley was supposed to be going into the Air Force. Maybe that's an explanation for it. She was also searching for jobs in Myrtle Beach on 1/24/2020, and she continues on with just writing in some of her own thoughts. Like, my husband's ex-wife does nothing for her kids. I wonder if my ex-husband's wife will send me a Valentine's card because I raise her kids, things of that nature. So she was definitely on the way out and looking for ways out, checking out singles websites, all kinds of crazy web searches that we will deep dive on one of our next live streams. I just think it's really interesting that on 1/25/2020 she was searching for one day some people will wish they treated you differently. And we'll also get into all of the ones that pertain to Gannon being missing, like the one where she's looking to see if the Nintendo Switch can be found, because obviously the Nintendo Switch was with Gannon, and I'm not sure, but I don't think they've ever found the Nintendo Switch. Okay, and then also, guys, so she uh, says in her TV interview that she hopes that she gets an apology when Gannon comes back, right? So there's that too. So she's always like, the poor me, everybody treats me badly, and I need to be treated better. I need more gifts. I need a rich guy, whatever. Okay, so then she's continuously searching until about 9:49 p.m. and she's checking out jobs. So the airport, cruise port, manager, Disney, again with the kids, fucking weirdo. Teacher, right? Again, probably not the best job for her. And then again with the South Florida room shares, finding a roommate kind of thing. And then there's nothing on the 26th to be shown here for web searches, because we're going to get into some more searches that she did on other devices. And some of them did not have dates or didn't have specifics. We'll just say that. So, but they were definitely searches from her phone. On the 27th, right? So now we find out about the burn carpet, right? So this is what's interesting to me with this timestamp, because it's at 12:09 a.m. and that's on the 27th, the same day that Gannon is reported missing. However, it's the start of the day, right? It's 12, in the morning, at night type of thing, right? So the first beginning of the day, my son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? And later on, I'm going to show you some pictures of the burnt carpet. So, it was very badly burned. I'm not sure if that was due to the firearm, being, oh gosh, I don't want them to ding me. So if, I don't know if that was a result of her using the firearm or what, but we're kind of going to, look into that a little bit more as well. So then she's looking about an hour later, son sick, can he stay home? So again, the day hasn't even really begun. It's only an hour into the day and she's searching these things, right? 2:42 a.m. She says Craigslist, Orlando, Florida, jobs, apartments for sale. So is she premeditating this that night? So what happened on the 26th? Al was supposedly there, right? But then he left out. And now she's contemplating something here with Gannon, my son, right? Her son, her stepson. And then here it is. Okay, should I just look for a job? Is she second guessing what she's contemplating? What is she doing here? Right? But again, she's a crazy woman here. So now we have the 28th, right? So she didn't do any more searches from that point on, but these are important ones here, I believe, the two. What is the process for a runaway child? She starts that at 4:15 a.m., right? But she already reported Gannon at this point, obviously, right? And then a minute later, she's saying police steps for our runaway, police steps for our missing child, just rapid fire, boom, 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 right? And then nothing until 7 a.m. So about 3 hours later, she says, find cheap rental cars, deals from Priceline. She's searching for $37 a day compact car. And then she's also searching about the Nintendo Switch, right? So 12:57 p.m. Can Nintendo find my Switch? And like I said, to the best of my knowledge, the Switch has never been found. Correct me if I'm wrong. There may have been something that came out at trial and I just don't remember. But I don't think they ever found his Switch. So, and he loved his Switch. 129, 20. So this is about where we're coming to, but we're still stuck on this 28th, guys, because like I said, the police did a lot of work. So I want immunity because it was gang related. Fucking Letitia, man. We're going to hear a lot about this bullshit right here. Like, oh, it was the cartels. It was the gangs. It was, Quincy, this guy that was very wanted in Colorado. Quincy did it. It was this one. It was that one. Freaking weirdo. I want immunity because it was gang related, she's saying. And greenhillsassociates.com. Be careful about being granted immunity and not testifying, right? Dude, the reason why, Letitia, you're so stupid. Again, the reason why you might get immunity is if you testify. That's the only reason they would give you something like that, is so you'll talk, dummy. So anyway, she's a lot to deal with, guys. Buckle up. This one is she's real froggy. Just don't know what you're getting with this one. Marion says, sounds like she thinks she's entitled. Yes, Marion, exactly. I think so. she always feels like she deserves better, right? And it's like, well, why don't you be better, you weirdo? Um, so it looks like she's tried to cover the blood. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she tried to clean everything up, but the thing is like, if you're dealing with a white mattress and white soles of your shoes and you're stepping around and, all that blood, it's never going to come out, you know? I mean, and the crazy thing is that she just left those bloody shoes in her laundry room. I mean, you could tell she washed them, but it was stained. They were so stained. Um, so unbelievable. And I'm not sure, but I don't think they've ever found the Nintendo Switch. There was also a bunch of Google searches on how to find military singles and schools and jobs and things of that nature. All right, so really quick, guys, I'm just going to go back and read some of these. One of these is going to say on the bottom, give me 1 second. Okay, so this is a Google search text string, right? So these are from the 25th. And one says, find real military singles. Parenting should be 4, not 1. I'm over going and doing all the work for my stepkids and their mom doesn't help. Again, these are all the Google searches in order. Find me a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Right? That was searched a couple times. In a different way, find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. Fucking weirdo. And then she talks about Landon buying her a Valentine's card. Why would she do that? I mean, that is, and I don't know if she was displaying weird behaviors on purpose like this, but like, who is going to do that? I mean, Valentine's Day is like a sweetheart holiday, so you're buying for your sweetheart, not for anybody really other than that person. So why the fuck would Landon buy her anything? It's weird. I mean, a Mother's Day card, maybe? I don't know. That would be more logical. So, oh, Chuchi, I hope he wins. Yay, tell him I'm rooting for him. So, yeah. I mean, look, fucking weirdo, man. This lady has issues big time. Mom advice from stepmom, right? If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you're shitty. That's another one we read before. My husband's ex-wife, nothing for her kids. I wonder if my ex-husband's gonna, or excuse me, my ex-husband's wife will send me a card since I raise her kids. Crazy, you know? So these are the things she's searching. Again, some of the common themes are hatefulness towards Al, trying to find another man, right, who's rich, who has more money than him, and also Landon, right, being a shitty mom. She doesn't get enough help, and she's trying to find another dude in the military, right, with a higher paycheck, a rich military dude. Singles and schools and jobs and things. Okay, sorry guys. And then this one we're going to look at again, some more Google searches. And these are going to be happening from the 25th, and then we're going to get into the 26th, and then the 27th there's a bunch, right? So still in the 25th she's talking about finding that rich dude. It's crappy some parents don't care for their kids or buy them presents. Right? She's really, I've never seen anybody use Google this way. But that happened on 126, right? And that this is in the AM. All of this is in the AM. She's doing all of this. All right. And again, paying attention to parents are those who put their kids before their needs. I think she meant to say needs and not nails, but she said nails. Parents are those who put their kids before their needs. Again, she searched that twice at 2 different periods of time, right? And then on the 27th, we have my son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? Will the humidifier help if exposed to smoke? She is Google searching that at 12:42 a.m. Again, right when the day starts, very early on. And then we also have her asking about smoke effects. Will humidifier help? Smoke from fire effects. Will humidifier help? Colorado law for kid staying at home, right? And also, school is out. Is it okay for my kid to stay home alone? Colorado for kids. Son is sick, but I have to go to work. Son is sick. Can he stay home? Suede repair, right, for a sofa. Suede repair sofa kit. I don't even know if that exists. El Paso Sheriff's Office number. Now, this is going to get into the 28th. What is the process for a runaway child? Police steps for a runaway, police steps for our missing child. Today's flight, okay, to Colorado Springs, right? Because that's where Al was flying out of, was OKC, right? Oklahoma City. And then he was flying into Colorado Springs. Can Nintendo find my Switch? Again, we know that was the 29th. CarNet Volkswagen. And then we also see a search there asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. What the fuck? And how? Look, Google is not that intuitive, even with AI. It's more intuitive with AI, but it's just not, right? So again, we have all of these searches. What was Katie searching? I don't know. And these are going to be phone searches from, of course, you know, the 21st through the 29th, or excuse me, the 25th through the 29th were all of these searches of that nature. So just looking over her Google search activity, and some of the search activity that was deleted is also included in some of these posts, and we'll get into that, like I said, on our next slide. All right, guys, here's some more. Now, these are the ones that were deleted internet search terms located on Letitia's iPhone. No date for the information, but she searches and deletes. Find me a new husband book. What the fuck? I feel like I'm just a nanny, not a stepmom. Husband uses me to babysit his kids. Are there any free money to move away from a bad situation? My husband never posts about me, but does everything else. My husband only cleans up for the army and not me. I'm just a glorified babysitter. Find a new husband. Jeez. Send sent my husband some sexy photos and he ignores them. Make my husband want me more. Okay, again, it's not a freaking magic 8 ball or anything like that, Letitia. I feel like my husband uses me to babysit his kid. Doesn't say kids. Kid is weird. Find a guy without kids. All right, these were all deleted. And again, it sounds like Letitia just was not happy, right? Al doesn't seem like he was interested. And there's going to be a part in this interview coming up, and I don't know if Al, I don't know why, but he doesn't want his phone downloaded. And look, we all have like our reasons, right? We all have privacy concerns, and some of us wouldn't want our phone to be downloaded. I wondered if maybe Al was seeing someone else and he didn't want that getting out. There's some reason why he didn't want his phone downloaded. And he also did not want Lena to talk to the police by herself and be forensically interviewed for some reason. So again, they weren't in the best relationship at the end here, and she's looking for other husbands and a book about it and all this stuff. But I do want you to watch this and tell me what you think of it. This is from Zav Girl, and she and her viewers have pointed out some screams in the video, and also you can see Gannon's foot getting out of the vehicle.
So when she comes home, she's coming home. This is at 2:20. So this is after, Gannon gets into the car around 10:23 in the morning. She goes out supposedly, she goes to Petco and that whole ordeal where she leaves with Gannon for hours. She comes home. You see her parked right there. She's about to back in, right? And then this is the one where you could see Gannon's shadow, which I do think it is Gannon getting out. I'm pretty sure because you do hear two car doors shut. So, and, law enforcement said that's what it was. So, I mean, I'm not going to just take their word for it, but that's why I wanted to see it for myself. And it does appear that there is a shadow getting out at the other side, and you hear two car doors shut. So I'm pretty sure If I were to guess, it's probably him. But a little bit after that, you hear some screams. Not sure if it's Gannon. I mean, because we know between this time and so it looks like probably between 2:20 and when Lena got home around 4 or something is when she killed him. I mean, it was like I feel like it was a continuing. I don't even want to use the word, but it was a continuing thing with him. It wasn't just one instance. I feel like she was doing stuff to him for hours all day. So she probably already did some things to him. He was probably the worst day of his life. So I do hear some screams here. And remember, this is after they both get out of the car and they're probably just got inside. And then I hear the screams. And I can't take credit for them. Like I said, some of my viewers are the ones that noticed this and they put it in the comments. So thank you guys for letting me know. So I'm going to play it and let me know what you guys hear, if you guys hear it too.
Okay, guys, and see, this is where I can see that someone is getting out of the vehicle, right, on the other side, because I know that the neighbor was super adamant, that you can't see Gannon or that he didn't come back home that day, but I believe he did. I believe he did because of this footage, and then listen for the 2 doors shut, right? Because this is interesting and important because again, um I believe something happened to Gannon after this time period where she really done him in because I think he was absolutely getting horribly hurt by Letitia, like all of it, all of that stuff that and we know that the majority of the puncture wounds, right, came from when he was in the bedroom, and we know that because of the blood spatter.
Okay, so I changed the audio. I like changed the equalizer or whatever just to kind of see if we could hear anything more. It doesn't change much, but it does make the last screams a little bit louder. Let me know. I mean, like I said, it doesn't change too much, but I figured I'd test out different enhancements for audio just to see.
Okay, guys, and also with this blue star, right? This is a picture from the crime scene of the blue star. There's also indications in many parts of the house that there was a cleanup, right? Do you guys hear the screaming? I mean, absolutely wretched. I could definitely hear him screaming. I did enhance the audio a bit myself. And big shout out to Zab Girl for, um, putting out the information. I know she put out a whole lot of information. I know she may have put out a little bit too much information, right? But again, with all of this being documented, it's a good for people to know and understand, especially with Letitia, getting a whole new trial and everything. This is horrific. This is absolutely horrific, and it sickens me to my core. Um, so Gannon, right? Um, I believe was being tortured, right? Burned. There's audio of him crying because of the burns, right? And she's being a complete idiot with him. Um, the dogs start bark, little Miss Sharon, the dogs start going absolutely bonkers when that happens. And I think too, it helps if you have earbuds in, you could really hear it, more pronounced. I could hear now the first couple times it's a little faint. Um, it is a little faint, but I'm not sure if she, what may have happened because I don't fully believe the candle story. I just don't. And again, we're gonna get more into the whys and things like that. But when it comes to Gannon's bedroom, there was a bed over this spot, right? And again, they're going through with the blue star, which is luminol, right? Everybody kind of knows it as luminol, but it's also called blue star nowadays. And they're cutting up pieces of carpet and pulling it back off the wall to see, where there's strong indications. And it does light up. So when they, spray it around and then it illuminates in certain areas. And it can, like I said, it can indicate where things have been cleaned up, right? Because you could probably see like the smears and stuff like that of somebody trying to scrub it up, right? There was copious amounts of blood. Um, And when they pulled this spot up in particular, this is where we see a very heavy saturation. They even took a red Sharpie and made an outline, and they did that on several spots where they had heavy indications or hits, right? And so they did mark out the pattern. The thing about spatter is that it's very uncontrollable, right? Because when you're doing that poking motion, right? And I have to kind of curb my language for this, but and then you're pulling out a sharp, object and then going back at it again, right? That's where you're going to see this because you're pulling it out and blood's flying everywhere. um this is where we're seeing these indications, right? And they've marked them all. And I mean, look, all of the wall as far as it can go up all the way up here, right? All of this. There was also, we're going to hear in Al's statement later where he talks about with the detective, blood being on the light switch, right? So I mean, but guys, there was blood everywhere, in the garage, and again with the leakage from Letitia, right? She indicates that something happened to Gannon in the garage and that he was bleeding in the garage and that there would be blood found in the garage. I mean, brutal, Holly. I mean, this is just this gorgeous little kid's room. So sad. I mean, from the depths of hell, you know, that's where she truly belongs, is to go back there, you know, in my opinion. Absolutely horrific, you know, absolutely horrific. So, again, you know, you see a bunch of spots like this. There's a video, I'm going to share it with you guys. We're going to go over some of this too as we go along. But just to show you guys, yeah. So then once you go from the garage into their house, they have a utility room, right? And it's got the washer and dryer and it, you know, that sort of thing in that room. And then you go in and it leads to a hallway. And then you have the great big, you know, open concept with um you know, the living room, kitchen, that sort of thing. And then there's a staircase. All the way down the staircase, guys, she cleaned and there was indications. And they did pull carpeting up to find droplets, is what they described them as. And they said that they were at their largest about a quarter size. Gannon was a little guy, guys. He's 11 years old. He's 11 years old and he's a little guy, you know? And this monster and the amounts that he lost, right? I mean, she had to have been like having him walk around or something. It is just, I don't know, either that or she was planning on doing something to him, or maybe it was when he got out of the car from the garage. We're going to get more into it, but there's evidence and the patterns of what we can see transpired here. And there was some areas in the great room, even in the basement, because there was bedrooms off to the side, but then there was also a utility room down there as well, that had, you know, that they used for storage. And there was a bunch of indications from the Blue Star in there, and they are all documented. So he really had a hard time with her, whatever she did to him. What a friggin' monster. And I have more photos later on to show you. But again, I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like when there's hits on, you know, I mean, and then look, this is the indication, because of course, when you have a pool like that and it's just going to go outward and stain outward. I mean, but look at all that. Unbelievable.
For audio just to see if it helps, but okay, here it is.
El Paso County 911. What is the exact location of your emergency?
Well, 6627 Mandan Drive, Colorado Springs.
Okay, say that one more time. Make sure I have it in here correctly.
6627 Mandan Drive.
Okay, the phone number you're calling from?
843-655-7460.
And your name?
Keisha.
Okay, tell me.
Oh, hey guys, I know that you guys aren't going to do this, but for anybody, you know, if there's like a yahoo out there that's watching this later, don't call that number, right? Because it's not Letitia's number anymore. I should have blurted out. I'm sorry. But yeah, look, don't be calling any of these numbers if they slip through, guys. We didn't redact it out.
Exactly what happened.
I don't know if I'm supposed to call emergency or non-emergency. Sorry, I can barely talk, but my son was supposed to be home at 6 o'clock, and it's almost 7. And we went to like all his friends' house. He said he was going to be at his friend's house, and they said he wasn't there, and the other one said he never came there. So I don't know any other people to call and ask. And I talked to my husband, so I told him how to call you guys as fast as I could, because I don't know anyone else here that he could be. Okay. And I don't know if there's like a time limit, but like he's only 11.
He's 11.
11, yes.
Okay. What's his name?
Gannon.
Spell it for me.
Gannon.
And the last name?
Stauch. Stauch.
Okay.
I'm not quick trying to oh my God, I can barely drive. I got it parked. I can barely drive. Oh.
All right, Keisha, so I have this information in here. And I'm going to give you, we have multiple questions we have to ask you. We don't want to tie up an emergency line, so I'm going to give you our non-emergency
Right, that's fine. That's why I didn't know which number to call. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Let me know when you're ready for that number.
Okay, go ahead.
719.
Right. Can you put this in your phone? 719
390
390
5555.
5555. Okay.
Okay. You're welcome.
I called that now?
Yep, call that now. I already have the call built, but we have multiple questions we need to ask. So just call back and we'll pick up right where we left off.
Okay. All right, thanks. All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Tuscany Dispatch, this is Katie. How can I help you?
Hi, yes. I called 911, and they said I had to call this number because my 11-year-old son was supposed to come home at 6, but he didn't. I know it's only 7, but, like, we went to both his friend's house, and they said he wasn't there. And it's kind of like speeding and stuff outside.
Okay. What is his home address?
It's 6627 Mandan Drive.
I'm sorry, that was 6627 Landon?
Mandan, M-A-N-D-A-N.
Okay, what is your son's name?
I'm sorry, what?
What is your son's name?
Gannon, G-A-N-N-O-N.
What's his middle name?
Jacob.
And when was he last seen?
Maybe around like what's the 3:30 maybe 3:30 between 3:34 and he was supposed to be back home at 6. So we let him all the time, like go to the neighbor's house, friend's house. They ride bikes, do everything together.
Okay. Does Gannon have any nicknames?
No. Or G-Man, but I mean that's kind of like something his parents call him, but not friends.
And is he white, black, Hispanic, or Asian?
White.
How tall is he?
Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really
Can
don't.
you just give me an approximate?
4'10".
How much does he weigh?
90 pounds.
Okay. What's his hair color?
Brown.
And his eye color?
Brown.
What is his complexion?
Fair.
Okay. Is he Hispanic or Latino?
No.
What's his date of birth?
9/29/08. Sorry, my hands are shaking. I'm freaking out.
That's okay. Do you know his social security number?
Not off the top of my head. It's in the house.
Okay. It's okay. If you could just sign that before the deputy gets there. Does he have any scars or marks?
No.
Any tattoos or piercings?
No.
Okay. Was he wearing any jewelry?
No.
Any glasses?
No glasses.
Okay.
I mean, unless he left with his shades on, but I mean, he don't have glasses.
Okay. And what was he wearing today?
He had on a blue jacket, zipped up, pants, jeans, and shoes, tennis shoes.
Is he on any medications?
He takes Vyvanse every day.
I'm sorry, what was that?
He takes Vyvanse for ADHD every day.
Okay. And other than that, does he have any medical, mental, or physical disabilities?
No, I mean, he just sees a counselor for mental health for the ADHD, but that's it.
Okay. Does he use alcohol or drugs?
No.
Does he have any injuries?
No.
Does he have any unique physical attributes?
Anything unique? No, just plain white boy, brown hair.
Okay. Do you have a photo of him available for the deputy?
Yes.
Yeah. And does he have a cell phone?
He does, but we haven't found it in the house yet, so we're not sure if he had it. You know, he was using it earlier today.
What's the phone number for that?
Hold on. My daughter's calling me. I'll give it in a minute because she went looking at the part. All right, let's see. Okay, she didn't find in there. That's why I want to make sure before I had you doing all this. 843-504-6724.
Who's the provider?
AT&T.
And do you know, is it equipped with a tracker?
It should be.
Okay. Give me just 1 second. And your mom, is that correct?
Stepmom.
Okay. You said stepmom?
Yes. He lives with us, stepmom and dad.
Okay. And what is your email address?
It's TECIA and then LYNN, Tisha Lynn 2006 at yahoo.com.
I'm going to read the back phonetically, make sure I have it right. Tom, Edward, Charles, Ida, Adam, Lincoln, Young, Nora, 2006 at Yahoo?
Yes.
Okay. Has this ever happened before?
No, but last night, so there were some things happened last night, and today, weird with my husband, we can tell him the officer about or whatever, but I don't know that would have been anything he would have been worried about. He's never been in trouble, straight A student.
Okay, so were there any suspicious circumstances today? Were there any suspicious circumstances today?
My husband messaged me earlier in the day and said something like, he was asking me about some friends wanting to play games, and then he started asking him about what was bath salts. It's like, tell him how bad bath salts was and explain that. I talked to him earlier, so that was the only thing that was really weird at all.
Okay. Okay. And what steps have been taken to locate him?
So we went to the neighbor's house that he always plays with, that we know really well. And we went to the other neighbor's house. My daughter just went to Stingray Park, and he's not there.
Okay. Is he associated with any gangs?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And who was the last person to see him?
I guess me.
Okay. And where was he when he was last seen?
He was.
Okay, guys. So, again, I hate to point out the obvious with Sebastian Rogers' case. We do not have anything to compare when they called in the missing report right on Sebastian. But, again, we have mom, stepmom. Last one he was with me. Last time he was seen in the house. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out.
In the house, and I was working out, and same routine every day. They have to play outside so many hours when it's nice before they get technology, and that was what he was supposed to be doing.
Okay, and when you left, was he on foot, or did he have a bike, a skateboard with him?
Well, his bike is here.
Okay.
He doesn't have a skateboard.
Okay.
Yeah, not here.
Okay, and was he with anyone when he left?
I don't know that. I was in the house.
Okay.
I mean, my husband lets him, walk around the neighborhood with the rest of the kids and things like that. So I don't even know any of the parents. I had to call him to get them their address.
Okay. And is he known to carry any weapons?
No, not that I'm aware of. No, I don't think.
Okay. And is there a history of violence or mental illness?
No.
Okay. All right, so that is everything that I need. As soon as I have a deputy available, I'll have them out to your address and make contact with you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
I took the covers that he was laying down, and I just threw it on there because I got my daughter out and the dog's out. She was working, And it was something.
Everybody now.
I know. It was something that we were just like.
Did he take his bike?
No.
Okay, because somebody saw a little kid on a bike. They posted it, but I didn't know if he brought it.
Well, he did, unless he took it sooner and brought it back because Lena ends up getting a bike.
Okay.
And rides the bike because hers had broke. When she ran into him, I say ran into him as in not physically, but she somehow got his bike because hers wouldn't work. So he could have at one
they were
point.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were supposed to go pick him up for dinner. And he never
Black.
They thought he was at his friend's house. He was like,
Yeah.
they started sleeping. So
We have him on one.
And he was never there.
There's
And he never
one
went to his
picture
friend's
someone
house.
said he was on.
Okay.
And he was taking the switch.
Do you mind if my partner looks around the house real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Because kids, they hide. And
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
They can hide for hours.
Yeah, no, we've already checked the camp, like the
Is there any other kids here?
Yeah, there's kids here. I think there's my sister and 2 dogs. He wasn't in here this week. That stuff is down there, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I show him about this stuff? I just didn't want the stuff on the cutter, the box thing. I think I still had down there. Okay, because you weren't in here. You weren't in here in the beginning, right? I thought I didn't know if I had that box cutter and all that stuff in there because I told him about he dropped the candle last night.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I must have picked it up. I was just making sure I didn't want you to be like, oh, just a box cutters. But yeah, I had to cut this, and I told them I wasn't even going to tell Dad, and I was going to figure out a way to put this in there from the situation. But
At least you got a cart.
right, I just took it and like covered up with the carpet and stuff like that. But
Does he have any friends around here?
Okay, so guys, she is absolutely, excuse me, following around the police officer, right? And then she's also showing him things in the house, right? Which are out of place and something that if they were to lift that carpet up, right? But she goes and tells them. And that's, why we kind of called her Leak Tisha earlier, because I mean, she leaks out a lot of information and she tells on herself quite a bit. And Detroit, I personally think that it was she moved him several times around. We're going to get into some more of the timeline details too, because I have them in the other video as well. But with his little sister, you can hear her in the 911 audio. Well, it was the non-emergency audio at the end there, where she was correcting Letitia about the skateboard, right? Like he's got one over at the other house or something, I think she's saying. I don't know, but I think that's why Al doesn't really want her to talk to the police because, she's 8 years old and she's probably very matter of fact and honest. And, he does have a moment where, he feels very out of control in the interview room, in my opinion. And we're going to see that coming up. So I don't know. I feel like if Lena saw him, which Al does get into that too. If Lena did see him, she may have just basically thought he was playing, but we'll get a little bit more into that because Al's going to go over that later. Because it's a big deal, especially because she was there. Also, Harley was also there. Now you can see they have a big house. So there's areas where if they were in another part of the house, they might not hear what's going on. Again, I think the majority of what was going on happened when they weren't home, or they were asleep or something like that. Because again, when Letitia is searching about the burns, it's at 12 a.m. on the 27th. So, and then an hour later, she's searching about the carpet and things of that nature. So I just believe that, either Lena did physically see him. And I don't think that's ever been released to the best of my knowledge. Her forensic interview, I don't think those can be released. I think they're sealed. So it'd be interesting to know if she actually saw him because, say he was lying in bed, and because the whole day they're saying this kid's got a stomach ache. and he's having major stomach issues, and he's having trouble, with the bathroom, right? So when you're having trouble with the bathroom, you stay next to the bathroom. You're not trying to go too far away there, right? But here's Letitia driving him all around creation, um, going to Dunkin' Donuts. And I asked him if he wanted anything. It's like, well, hell no, he doesn't want anything. He's got a stomach ache. Maybe water, but then she's like, I gave him Pedia Pops. Um, Freaking idiot. Maybe the candle was a decoy. I mean, I think it could have been. I think she poured the candle wax on there, especially the way we see the candle wax sitting. I have a picture of that too, Sasha, that I'm going to show later. So, yeah, I mean, you can see where she basically tried to cover it up. And candle wax is a bitch, especially when it gets in the carpet. But the thing about, again, with the blood is it saturates. And it's very difficult to cover up or clean up without any indication that it was there. Especially when the blue star is used. Was this ever used in Sebastian's case? I hate to keep saying it over and over, but I need people to think about that. Because this is what should have been going on. And we see in other cases where they do take the time out to make sure that all of this is checked out. That's why Nancy Grace asked Chris and Katie, were there any carpet samples taken from the home? She first asked about the carpet in the room. She says, is Sebastian's room have carpet or is it hardwood? Right? And some people might think, well, why would she ask something like that? Well, because her next question was going to be, did they take any samples from his room? Since the last place he was at was his room, you're looking for foreign DNA, right? Like it didn't come from Chris, Katie, or Sebastian who lived there. So if there's any other DNA there, it needs to be collected and, possibly tested against a database to see if there's anyone out there that they can match with it. I mean, this is these are the lost opportunities. But I agree with you, Sasha. I'm going to show you that later because, yeah, I believe that the candle was not the cause. Yeah, not the cause at all. She must have hid him before she got home and told her he was outside. Well, and I don't remember ever seeing any more video from the neighborhood where she was leaving at all. So because the way the cameras are pointed, they can definitely see the comings and goings, right, from their driveway. I mean, if you're in that driveway, they're seeing you. You're pulling in and out of the garage. Al had a bunch of his shit in the garage, though. Their house is really cluttered. When the officer goes back and does the testing with the Blue Star, Al has it cleaned up quite a bit, and you can tell that all of Letitia's stuff is no longer there. Letitia and Harley's stuff is no longer there. So, but I'll kind of show that because I'd like to do kind of a side-by-side walkthrough when we do that video, where I'll show you guys kind of, how much more crap they had at the house. So, but it's a very tight time frame. And, for someone who's claiming to be crazy, she was absolutely calculated in what she was doing. She wasn't flawless by any means, but she was calculated. He has major stomach issues. Yeah, went to play with friends. Exactly. Exactly, Sasha. Yeah, I mean, none of her story makes sense at all. It's full of red flags, and, again, he's not going to be riding his bike if he's not feeling well or walking to a friend's house. Look, here's a one rule that I will say I'm strict on. Like if you stay home from school, then you're not going out to play. But they had this rule with Gannon in playing outside. Well, you have to stay outside for this long. And I know a lot of people were like, well, my parents were like that too. I'm not saying that anybody's parents are bad or horrible. Look, I'm just saying that, I think it's unrealistic to be like, hey, if you go to your friend's house, you better be playing outside. That's kind of silly, or you're going to be in trouble. So there was this kind of rule, different kind of rule. But my rule would be like, hey, if you are not well enough to go to school, then, hey, buddy, you're not going out to play. Right. But they had a different thing going on, why you would, make him go. And if he's embarrassed because he's having those issues, obviously nobody likes to have those issues. It is embarrassing. Why would, he'd be out there, right, around other people, like, oh, then you have to use their bathroom and then stink it up or whatever, if he's nervous about that sort of thing. Um, she must have had blood on yeah, and her clothes. She did. Detroit, she had her sneakers. They showed her sneakers in the laundry room, and they're completely saturated. The white soles of her shoes are completely saturated, like as if she tried to wash off the blood, but it didn't come out. Yeah, just absolutely disgusting, like, the amounts. I think well, we're gonna like I said, we're gonna get more into her whereabouts that day.
There is a, let me look on this thing. He did have this one, like, boat thing.
It's where you're supposed to be at down the road.
But they checked that already?
They went over there and talked to him, and they're like, no, we hadn't seen him at all.
Oh, okay.
He did have this, like,
And you talked to parents, right? You didn't talk to...
Yeah, Connor's mom came over, who is a friend he hangs out with all the time. So they come over. The people here, the friends, they were just the ones that were at the door with the bike.
Okay.
They came over. A bunch of people came over. Yeah, so
Any
he
friends?
did have like a little book that had names on it, but I don't know. I don't see it like anywhere specifically because like his wallet, he's not like I teach 5th grade and like, you got your like really, really mature kind of boys, but then waiting, he forgets to like bring this or bring that or bring.
Okay, so yeah, yada yada yada, Letitia. Okay, so he leaves his wallet just like Sebastian left his money, right? I don't know if he left his cell phone, but actually I know that he did leave his cell phone. Gannon did, because it's brought up in the Starbucks interview. That's right. Excuse me. Scratch that. I almost forgot. Right. So yeah, they give it to the detectives to download or do whatever they want with. They said, they're going to get it back, of course, but nevertheless, it was there. So Gannon again doesn't bring his cell phone. No indication that they were planning on running away, as in there's nothing taken, there's no bag packed. Yeah, his bike wasn't there, so he just again went off on foot, like Sebastian, right? We're supposed to believe that shit. And Sebastian again is 15 years old. Gannon's only 11. Right? But when you're going to run away from something or you're planning on, going somewhere, you're going to take your shit with you. But so far, the only thing they're saying that Gannon had with him was a switch. Sebastian, it was a keychain flashlight.
This or bring that.
Still good.
Yeah.
So no clothes are missing or nothing?
No, we actually lay out all the clothes all the time. Like for, like every day at school, we lay out clothes. We do whatever.
Is his jacket gone?
He had he has several jackets. Like it depends on, I'm very like fashion. So like it just depends on jackets. Like he might have this black one with this, or there's a blue one with this.
So he had a jacket.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Several jackets. Like you see the kid has, like tons and tons of clothes, and he just, he has all that stuff. So. And he took like none of this. Like these are.
Okay, yeah, he didn't take none of this stuff. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Saying thank you, little Miss Sharon, for the super sticker. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you. Yeah, she's like, oh, I didn't take any of this stuff. Well, thanks, Captain Obvious. There. Again, she doesn't answer the questions. She's like, oh yeah, he'll wear this one, that one. All they're trying to do is get a description of him. Was he wearing his jacket? What did he take with him? Right? And then she starts kind of getting, thinking about that. And now she's like, oh, obviously he didn't take this stuff. And these are his favorites, right? But he's got an old pizza box over there with his wallet underneath the old pizza box. Yeah, no indication that Gannon had any plan of leaving that day, in my opinion.
His favorites. All of these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's gonna grab some more questions and.
Okay.
How
long have you guys lived here?
Maybe like a year and something now. Yeah.
And you have talked to all of his friends' parents in the area?
I'm not the person that talks to the friends. I don't have numbers. I don't say yes. I don't say no. My husband tells him yes or no. So he has all the numbers.
So there could be some friends that you don't know.
Right. Because I don't know the people like that. And a lot of the time that I was here, I had a job on the East Coast.
Mhm.
So I had to fly back and forth for a lot. So I didn't really meet a lot of people, like my husband did. And he's like, always want to be the one to talk to everybody about it. And so,
Well, how about your husband? Does he talk to these people?
yeah, he's been on the phone with a bunch of them. He's in Oklahoma, Fort Steele right now.
Is there anybody he hasn't been able to get a hold of?
No, he said he's talked to everyone that he knows of. The only concern we had is he was talking about the friend with the older sibling, and we don't know who that one is. That's the one we don't know.
Do you guys have a name for that?
Because we don't know who that person is. We've never heard him say like specific name. And my husband said when he talked to him today that there was no like specific name but he didn't give him a name. He just told him that. So.
And he took his game console down.
Yeah, they have a couple of different consoles.
And one of them.
Okay, so again, he says he took his game console though, right? And she goes, "Oh, they got a bunch of different ones." That's not what he asked you, I mean, it's just like pulling teeth. And again, we get a lot of that from Chris and Katie too.
Switch Lite. They have a 2DS, a 3DS. One of them is gone. It was in like a bluish black. Wait, no, that one might be in red. I don't remember. I just know in the video you can see that, or the picture that the lady had, you can see like he's got something right here and it's like far down.
Which pictures is this?
So some lady online had noticed it, like messaged us and had noticed that was him or the description, and she was like, "Was that him?" And I was like, "Yes."
Where was that picture taken?
I don't know. I honestly have about 150 Facebook messages that I haven't answered people on because you guys showed.
Was it local? I mean, was it in the Lorson Ranch?
In Lorson Ranch. Someone put it on the Lorson Ranch page.
I know you probably gave some of this information to dispatch already, but can you give us a description of him from top to bottom?
So
hair color, eye color, any art?
Yeah, so brown, very pale, like whitish colored skin.
I guess he's at this house and they don't know.
And then
And the parents may not know.
and then
Well, they said
4'10".
there was a weird text that Dad got about something about
90
bath
pounds, maybe?
salts. And hey, if you
And then I
if
sent
I
you that
can get some
picture
bath
that-
salts, do we have any bath salts?
Yeah,
And my friend will let me play Sonic or something in their house.
He sent that to you, Dad.
Yeah, I got it. And then Mom goes through everything, finds a spark. Yeah. We're still getting the runaway report right now.
Okay, and again, a runaway report. And we know that Katie, I mean, from the very beginning, and then we heard a shift, right? A little bit of a shift on Nancy Grace, and then subsequently when she spoke to Heather PI, and I think that was like 50 days in to Sebastian's disappearance when she spoke to Heather, right? But Katie originally said, I don't know why he walked out the door. So she's telling everybody that he walked out the door, right? Well, which door? The front door, right? So that's kind of where we're seeing, again, another pattern when it comes to the beginning of this, reporting a child missing, but as a runaway. And again, I know that they didn't think it was going to get this big, or people were going to be looking for Sebastian so feverishly as they are, or as we are. but that's where we're at. And, you know, you just cannot foresee, especially 2 years after something happens like this, where you report this child missing or they're, you know, you're saying they ran away. But later on, Katie says that she thinks that somebody might have him. And then to Heather Cohen, she tells her to look, you know, look into the dark web and also look at trafficking, or that Sebastian could possibly be in a basement.
Harley, did you get it? Who was it?
Okay, I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just didn't want any people, neighbors, talking in. Yeah. So he wanted it.
What clothes was he wearing?
Blue jacket, blue jeans.
Had a game console that he left with, so he's probably at his house right now playing games.
That's what me and my husband absolutely think, and we think we absolutely think that, and we've calmed our stress level down after our 4-hour week over that.
Like a thick, heavy winter jacket, a sweatshirt, windbreaker.
No, like the ones I was showing you guys in there, kind of like a little windbreaker type. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Is there anything to
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm mid, so I'll be on all.
No, they asked me about tattoos and earrings and all that.
Like
stuff.
I'm gonna
There was
end up,
nothing.
I'm gonna end up asking
perfect.
a whole lot of the same questions that dispatch asked.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. If you hear anything from the school, let us know, please. All right. Oh, bye. Just on broadcast.
Yeah, we already talked to a bunch of people at the school.
Yeah, they used to have security.
Because there was a game or something tonight, and so that was like one of the things we were thinking. If I guess you know they went to like the basketball game or something. But
He said there was Parks and Rec going on. So.
Huh? Smith.
Yeah. What?
It was the off duty.
no,
Oh, okay.
he said somebody in the neighborhood or something.
See what dentist he goes to.
If you guys want to call my husband,
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We'll follow up because he might have a little bit more information.
Yeah, and I don't do a lot of the.
Okay.
He does all that.
How long has he been over there stationed?
He's not. He's stationed here. He's just at Captain Career Course.
Okay.
Yeah. So they go to a dentist. I think it's like Fountain Dentist, maybe.
All right.
Everything else is on base.
We'll give him a call.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Al, A-L, Stauch, S-T-A-U-C-H.
Well, we'll go give him a call in the car real quick and see if we can get any information.
Okay.
Then we'll come back and or we'll give you a case number for the runaway and everything. Okay. All right. Thanks.
My dog's down here now.
Yeah, I agree a little, Miss Sharon. I think you're right. I think that they followed the Don and Candace playbook. You know, I mean, just there's so many that are just mirrored right to what they've said, and you know, I mean, it's unbelievable. So yeah, absolutely. Detroit says exactly what I was thinking. You know, I mean, and I think a lot of people are into true crime. You know, and I think that sometimes people just think that they can get away with stuff, right? They think that you know, they're gonna get one over on someone. They're like they're that good, you know.
I didn't see him.
Okay.
Trisha? I'm just trying to figure out I got your message about something.
Oh, okay, guys, I forgot about this. So yeah, this is gonna be Letitia and Detective Bethel, right? The FaceTime conversation. So again, there was several conversations while on the 28th, while Al was, you know, speaking and with detectives, and you know, they wanted her to come to the station, right? They lured them, in my opinion, like, hey, could you bring us Gannon's toothbrush, right? And then she opted not to go. And then Al's like, hey, it would be really nice if you can come down here and talk with the officers. And she was super reluctant. And then she ended up not coming down there. So super suspicious, in my opinion. This is Detective Jessica Bethel. And she was the one that met with Letitia at Starbucks. And this is after the Starbucks also.
And I talked to you earlier. You didn't say anything else. I'm just trying to I'm confused at what you want me to do, what's going on.
You talked to me, now you want to talk to me again?
Well, you sent me that message saying I don't know what you want from me, so.
Yes, because I mean, my child couldn't leave. I couldn't go home. I don't have anywhere to sleep. I mean, like, I just don't understand.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, that sort of kind of came out of left field for me. All I'm trying to do is gather information to find
I don't understand
Gannon.
I don't understand what you mean came out of left field. My own child could not leave, so how is that out of left field?
What do you mean your child couldn't leave?
She was trying to go to Starbucks and was left there and forced to stay there with men in and out the home by herself.
Okay, I don't know what happened at your home. I know that she was offered the opportunity to come into the office and she didn't want to, so she didn't go into the office.
Okay, but what does she need to go in the office for? She can't go get food. She can't go get coffee and had to be asked why she gets coffee. Does she need her Starbucks app to see that she gets coffee like every day?
Okay, so this is a big time entitlement attitude from Letitia. Talking about, oh, she gets Starbucks every day, blah, 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 right? She's left there with no food. I'm sure there's food in the house. She's not going to starve. I'm sure she could fix herself a cup of coffee, call it good, right? But again, she did not want the detectives questioning her daughter, and she used her age to the advantage because, Harley's 17, so she is, technically still, a child, right? Even at 18, they're more young adult, right? They're not a child per se, but they can make their own decisions. They can talk. It's a little bit different, right? But we definitely see where Letitia's very pissed off because Harley goes to leave out to go get a coffee, and the detectives kind of pop out, right? And they're like, hey, and then they, talk with her, and then they kept her there. They wanted to bring her to the police station as well, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, but they did not. They didn't get to question her just yet, right? So this is all the 28th. So, and again, we're going to hear from Al and the rest of his interview right after this.
Hello?
Is there anything more that you might be able to share with me to help me find Gannon?
You keep asking me this.
Where are you now?
You keep asking me this over and over and over.
Where are you now?
I'm not going in to talk to you without an attorney when you already talked to me earlier.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
So I just don't understand what's going on.
Do you have any further information to give me that may help me find Gannon? Any new developments, new information?
I've already told you this.
Okay. Well then, I'm going to go ahead and end the conversation then, because we've already spoken.
Okay, so why do you keep saying because someone came and looking for me, wanted me to go talk to them, so now it's you. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
You and I have already spoken. If you don't want to come in to speak with me at the office, that's completely fine.
Okay, but why was someone?
I don't know. And so what I'm saying at this point in time, Letitia, is if you don't have any other information for me to actively look through to find Gannon, there's no point in me continuing this conversation. I need to get off the phone here and start working on leads and developments.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, love the money. Okay, love the money. Okay, love you, Mom. Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.
Okay, guys. So there's Gannon, and so cute, and that was Zav, right? I know Holly, right? Oh, he was giving kisses to his mama. Like, ugh, guys. Oh my goodness. I was like, I hope she doesn't mind if I use that little montage of hers because it was just so cute. Um, poor Gannon and those big old brown eyes. I'll tell you what. Um, just adorable little boy and so sweet, right? It's just a shame. And monster Letitia is, I just can't say it enough. She is absolutely disgusting. Um, so let's go ahead and get over to Al's part two. So, in this time period, we can see that Letitia has gotten a hold of
After an accident.
there we go. Sorry. Has gotten a hold of the detectives, and she's speaking with them as we're going, right? As we're going along through this. She's speaking to Al. Al's speaking to her and Harley both. Um, so yeah, they're going back and forth. With Well, nothing about Gannon. We'll just put that right there. Nothing about Gannon. Everything about trying to get her down to the station. She wants to know what they're asking. She wants a lawyer. She's refusing, right? We don't know exactly what her and Harley are talking about, but they're not being very descriptive in their language, right? It's just like quick text back and forth. Um, it's just an unfortunate situation. I know Detroit, just he's such a sweetie pie. And again, such a smart kid, loved to do coding, right? Loved his video games. Just loved to seem like just a little boy. I feel horrible for his mom, Holly says. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And to have to go through all this crap again, is absolutely, I mean, especially because Letitia just made a whole ass spectacle of herself the first time around, right? Like this is why there's so much crap out there. And she put them through so much and put everybody through so much. Her own daughter. I mean, just scarring your daughter for life because you messed up and and she is a witch too. Detroit, I saw that comment as well. um and Lover Girl, they're so similar, so very similar. um Detroit says she made it look like he was doing bad things like the bath salts and the Swisher sweets in his backpack. Evil witch. Yeah. She fucking frames an 11-year-old. Like, who does that? You know? Especially Gannon, just a sweetheart. And, if he was sweet to his biological mom like that, I'm sure he was super sweet to Letitia like that. And how dare she betray him? Oh, and I found out, guys, that she was charged with being in a position of trust. However, because there was one victim and it kind of fell under the same umbrella, so to speak, then they're not going to charge her twice. She can't serve like consecutive terms, that sort of thing. Again, I hope I'm explaining that correctly, but basically they lumped it into the other charges. But she was, I mean, they just did every single thing they possibly could have done, right? And the DA charged her to the fullest, and that judge just making a really poor choice. The prosecution arguably should have also not taken that risk. Um, I don't know. It's just it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, you know. Um, Letitia doesn't want anyone else questioned like Chris didn't want anyone questioned, in my opinion. Oh, definitely. Definitely. They want to have control over the situation. Now, we are going to see Al, and he is going to be okay. So, I think also the reason why I'm saying this is because, within Seth's case, right, he wants people to be looking into things, right? He gave his phone, he, did all these things, gave his time card, all these things. And he's very much open to give information. We don't see that with Al in this, right? So I'm just gonna put it out there again, and it's in anything that I analyze about Al, just please know that I'm not trying to bash the guy. These people can't stand happy children. That's how much they hate themselves and their own childhood. It's disgusting. Sasha, it's just like, I mean, come on. Like, I don't know. I can't tell, I'm not his mom and everything with Gannon, but boys are hyper, right? I mean, and if he's a little chatty, I don't know. I'm a little chatty, but I don't think I need like ADHD meds. I don't know. I've never had ADHD meds, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think I need those to not be chatty. Um, I noticed eventually it's only about Gannon and old techie don't exist no more, and she never will, regardless. Well, I think that there was such a jealousy. There was such a horrific, right? Envy is one of the big, seven deadlies, right, guys? Um, Sins or whatever. So look, being envious, jealous, whatever, she was over Landon. I mean, look, she's Google searching Landon on the 21st of January. Like, weird. What a weirdo. You know? Cinderella, totally. Oh, totally. I agree. I think Letitia was extremely uh, jealous of Landon, my opinion, and took it out on Gannon. I think she was absolutely jealous of any relationship. To even with Al, even with Al, but she was more pissed off at Al because he wasn't providing her the lifestyle that she thought she deserved, in my opinion, which Letitia's like bougie on a beer pocketbook, right? I mean, no. Mm-mm. That's not how it works, right? And then she wasn't working, you know? But yeah, Holly says spot on. Spot on, Sasha. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, you don't make them quit the things that they like to do, Cinderella, you don't. Yeah, I mean, you just can't. Um, yeah, the green-eyed monster. Exactly, Sasha. Everybody feels that from time to time. It's not like, but when you let it overdo things, I mean, and again, she's been with Al for a while, so it's not like this is a new relationship and she's Googling the ex-wife because maybe the ex-wife did something out of character or whatever, like um, she was Googling a lot of things, parenting advice. So there was some major issues in terms of the relationship, the parenting, really big issues, right? Like all around. And so that's a big one too, because like I said, in Sebastian's case, we have that as well. I think, Mr. Crispy knew that Sebastian was definitely smarter than him, right? It probably bothered him to no end. I do think that, Chris wanted Katie's, time, right? Um, it's either him or me. Why would you say something like that, right? Um, and also when you see how much disdain There is. I know Peter Hyatt talked a lot about that very subject with Sebastian, right? And then we also see them embarrassing Sebastian. Just like it seems like she's trying to embarrass Gannon. She's framing an 11-year-old, as Detroit was saying, with the Swisher Sweets. Who does that? You planted Swishers in his backpack, you know? Right, yeah. Cinderella says, Lady Freedom, it can get really annoying. Of course, part of it is to push us too. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's just here's the thing, I never fault people if they're trying to teach a kid a lesson or something like that, trying to parent their child, because everybody should be able to parent their child the way they want. But some of these um things are a little bit like, I'm not gonna say it's like super concerning, but like I don't know. The outside thing, I think that was another part of kind of a piece of this where, Letitia and the whole situation and her not, oh, I don't want to have to take care of his kids and my daughter shouldn't have to babysit his kids. I think, it shows in the Google searches. It shows with what Al was saying about the whole situation. And, I think that 3-hour thing was like because Al wanted the kids out of her hair. So he's like, go play outside, be kids, ride your bike, blah, 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 you know, which, nowadays can be kind of dangerous for kids, right? I hate to say it, but like even riding their bike, somebody just come up and snag you up, it's just kind of, it's scary. But in the same way, you can't, keep them from doing things like that because, I mean, yeah, it's just sad. Kids should be able to go out and ride their bikes whenever they want. But, it's the world we live in, I guess. Yes, they hurt the things you love. Yeah, well, yeah, they do. And there's a lot of triangulation as well, just a lot of triangulation. And again, I can see where Katie was, you know, sometimes in Al's position, obviously, right? Because she's the biological parent, in the situation. So a lot of people say that they can see a lot of the same mannerisms as, Chris Proudfoot and Letitia, and I can. I can also see them in Katie, and I think the reason why is because of the guilt and involvement in the situation. Guilty knowledge, and involvement. That's what I believe. That's why I see those parallels. That's why they're just like glaring. So yeah, and again, that's why with with this case, it's difficult because Al is obviously innocent of this, and I told you guys this afternoon, if Chris Proudfoot was innocent of this, right, whole situation, then he wouldn't still be with Katie. He just wouldn't. Period, because they weren't having a good time of it to begin with. And when things are that bad, that's, when you're on your way out. And I'm not trying to call it in other people's relationships. You never know, whatever. It's up to them. I'm just saying that, when you're looking for another place and all of that stuff and telling your boss and telling your coworkers that you're not, going to stick around for this anymore, you're leaving, da da da. That's the time. So, yeah, exactly. They're only young ones. Exactly, Cinderella. And look, they're learning. And that's another thing that, I think the patience and everything. Seth talked about patience and everything too. And I just don't think that, Chris Proudfoot wants to allow for the children to make mistakes and learn from them. And, he's just everything's a catastrophe for that freaking asshole. And then he loves the circus. So, um yeah, Lover Girl, I mean, that is one thing I'm telling you, I went off this afternoon on it because 'cause I'm like, "I'm sick and tired of this crap." I know for a fact, because it's the dynamic, right? And it's the body language, the behavior, all of it, put together. That's why it's so familiar when we're looking at Chris and Katie. Because if one of them was completely innocent, and I mean, I guess I could say that for Katie, but the thing with Katie, she's stuck because she was the last one with Sebastian, just like Letitia being the last one with, Gannon, right? And where did he go missing from? Our house. Oh, the house? Where'd you last see him? The house. So that right there just ties Katie down, right? And I just don't see Chris, with her being wife number 5 and him digging on Terry Lynn for wife number 6 until, I don't know what happened with that. He's like, definitely, oh, we should have done this in person, da da da. Um, but yeah, totally. Yeah, there's so many patterns in this one. Um, I personally think CP showed up. Those dogs weren't barking in during that interview for no reason. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, we still have no idea what Chris's whereabouts are. And that in and of itself is just so suspicious. It's just completely suspicious. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing. I think a lot of it too, Marion, is that, with Sebastian's autism, Chris didn't want to even help him out, and you know, give him a chance to learn things. He was very impatient. Um, Marion says kids aren't mini adults. They are learning about the world and how things work, in my opinion. Yeah. And he wasn't even giving him the chance, he's like forcing it on him. I mean, you can't, whip somebody's butt because they have autism. That's not a therapy, you know, but Chris is too dumb to realize it, I guess, so, um, yeah, just like Candace and Dawn. Yeah, exactly. She acts too dumb when convenient, and she's not, allegedly, in my opinion. Cinderella, that's a great point. Um, look, none of these people are dumb per se. I mean, I call Chris a dummy, but I mean, to a certain extent, he's made it, this far in life. I mean, if he can like go up into that crane and stuff, I'm pretty sure he's not, they're not going to give a total moron that responsibility. Don't make me stick up for Chris now. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, like, no, none of them are stupid. And Katie's not stupid. She was playing us. She was trying to play us, right? She's all like, oh, I don't know why he walked out the door. I'm just a sweet Katie. No, you know. I can see a book here called Step Monsters. Exactly, Little Miss Sharon. And all the fairy tales are like, about the wicked stepmother, but we have the wicked stepfathers too, and he's look, Proudfoot's like, I'm not a monster, blah blah blah. Yes, you are, sir. I hate to break it to you. I mean, you could do better if you want, but that's up to you. Um, Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, because you would think, I don't know, no social skills, no self-awareness, no social skills, right? Antisocial. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I know. They are. They're inept. They're inept, Sasha. They are. They're inept. And just they also seem lazy to me because there's not a whole lot going down in Sumner County, okay? Down at the courthouse and all that where they're at, there's nothing going down. It's not like they had like a call even or anything. Like, what the fuck? You can't really can't be bothered, you know? And yeah, they are. And as the Wells, we did the Wells comparison. Um so, and I'm glad I'm on the right track, Holly, because like I said, with that Kyron Horman interview, I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool that they do that with cases. Because sometimes I feel bad, comparing a case because they're all unique and different, and everybody's story is right. So, but I just see these similarities, and it's like that does help us get a little bit further, and also helps us think outside the box. Because again, if we just hammer away at Sebastian, and we never look at other behaviors and, that sort of thing, um, it keeps us stuck. But if we bring in new ideas and we can apply those, like, let's try it, right? I mean, it can't hurt anything. So, all right, so here we go. This is the next part of Al. And this is a spicy one too. I mean, there's a lot going on here. You guys are gonna enjoy it.
We don't have cameras on the inside, but the back door, closed, open. Basically.
So the last one was the 816?
816, which just means they could have been walking around, now they're sitting on the couch.
Okay.
Because it would have said front door or something like that. Yeah, front door closed, front door open. If they would have went out the front door.
Okay.
The only caveat of that is, you go out the garage, there's no sensor. After you leave the living room, there's no sensor.
Okay.
So that brings up a good point too. She faked break-ins. I forgot about that. She faked 2 break-ins right when I got here. Like she staged it or did it.
Tell me about that.
The first one, we had gone out. I'm trying to think where the kids were. I got here in February. They may have been at their mom's for spring break. For some reason, they weren't around. I don't remember the dates. I'd have to dig back and find the dates, but it was very soon after I got here. And we had gone somewhere, come back, and I don't want to mix them up. Somehow, somebody was perceived to be in the house. And then my son, his room is in the basement. There's one of, I forget what they're called, storm drains or whatever, the ladder or whatever. And his window was open and all the stuff was like, actually, no, my daughter was in that room at that point, and then we switched them because of that. The window was open and looked like somebody had left out of there. But nothing was gone. In that instance, somebody had gone into our room, not taking a thing, but rummaged through some stuff. Like took my ammo can, dumped it out, pushed the mattress, like looked like they were looking for something, knocked over the clothes hamper. And yeah, on the surface, when you get home, it was like, oh man, somebody broke in, and you see the window open, that's how they got out, that kind of thing.
Right.
But then none of it, nothing was gone. Nothing was really disturbed. Like they didn't go through drawers or anything. I've been robbed before back in South Carolina, so I got an idea.
Right.
You know more about it than me, I'm sure. But certain trends, like kids, drawers are gonna be open, stuff's gonna be thrown out, looking for valuable stuff or whatever.
Right.
No electronics, nothing was touched. So we did the right thing, called the El Paso County. They came out, did their thing, and they were all like, but they at that point, there was a brand new house. We were first owners, and there was no sod in the backyard, so they looked for footprints, didn't find any. Then there was another one shortly after that. It was.
Okay, guys, so I wanted to bring in these little instances again because we talked about him last night and people were like, this is a red flag and everything. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Right. So, and it seems like she was doing, and I didn't want to say like dry runs, but because I don't want to say it like that, but I think what she was doing after like thinking about it some more is that maybe she was trying to see what they would do when they came out, what they would look for, right? And because she does it a couple times, and you know, like they're checking for footprints and different things like that. And I think maybe she was checking to see what was going on. I mean, and what they would do and how it would go, and how nervous would she be with them there or something like that. Sasha says jalapeno time. And Holly says, I wonder if they were suspicious of Al. If they weren't before at the end of this interview, I think that they would be a little bit, and only because of the way he acts. And I want to show you guys, it's very I forgot about this too. That he acts kind of suspicious, is a good word for it. But I don't think, like, I think that they know that something's off with him, and I think that it's like really more of a control thing, right? Like he can't control the environment that is going to be where, his daughter's going to be questioned and that sort of thing. But I think if they weren't, then they were when he kind of started in with this. Um and exactly, faking the break-ins is not a red flag at all. Says little Miss Sharon. She says, hello Al, wake up man. Right? And I mean, that's the thing. He very much is like the ostrich with his head in the sand. Because he's really at his wits end with her. And I can definitely see why. Right? Because Cinderella's saying, he's relaxed and precise. And he, like I said, Al seems like a very nice guy, where he's just trying to go to work and come home and chill with his family. He's military. He's just trying to live, living the dream, whatever, right? But that's not good enough for Letitia, and she doesn't like it. And I think it makes him feel less than. I think it hurts his feelings. I think he really loved Letitia. I'm just gonna say, I think he really did love her. He never thought she would do something like this. That's just my assessment. But again, there's a lot more to it. But yeah, these weird little break-in things, Sasha says, that's a good point. Sasha says, she was trying to get him to stay home, like she's in danger. Yeah, because she pulled that shit in Alaska, and was like, oh, I was sexually harassed. Okay, whatever. I mean, all of that. But she also did that in Myrtle Beach as well, allegedly. This chick is off the chains. Detroit, what a manipulative, crazy demon. I know, right? Right? She's whack. And Al is a fool for staying with his Looney Tunes, in my opinion. I know. I think he was definitely on the way out. Like, I do. And then also, like, so he's not gonna want them to download his phone. And again, I think it might be because, like, maybe there was some risque shit in there, because he might have been like, you know, seeing other ladies or something like that. Debbie says, "What? Hey, good to see you." So, I think that's probably a big part of it. We'll just say that. I mean, look, we can kind of speculate on it, but I think some of it too. And then also, I think it's embarrassing when you're in this a type of a toxic relationship. It really is. And you don't want other people to see your text messages of you fighting with this person and, and all the nasty, like, ick, right?
I was at work, and I work 12 hours, like I told you. So on my night shifts, I get home like 5:30 in the morning, or 6. Well, I get off at 5:30, so I get home like 6, whatever, 6:15 in the morning. And on my way home, she texts me, she's like, I hear noises, outside. And then I come home, and there's, I don't know, the little crawl space attic in the garage. There was something thrown up in there, like somebody was trying to climb, but it was a ridiculous effort. So I'm like, no criminal's gonna, it's like a hammer with a string tied to it. I mean, come on. And it was my hammer. So it was like absolutely ridiculous. And then same kind of thing. one of the windows downstairs was cracked or something like that, open.
Okay, guys, sorry, I got to the pause button a little bit too late there. I'm sorry, but I just kind of have to chuckle about the hammer. He's like, and it was my hammer, right? Like, it's so ridiculous. And those are the things that he's dealing with, right? Like, she's absolutely psychotic. In my opinion, this lady is a nut job. In my opinion.
And the screen was pushed out from the inside. But the police called again, and we sat there and went over and over, like, what in the world? Now, this time, because we said there was no footprints last time, now there's some footprints that matched the pair of shoes. Really, really close, if not exact. And so I got to thinking about it, and I pulled up the alarm log. That's what made me think about this. And showed the deputy or whatever. And I'm like, he was looking at me like, what do you think happened here? I'm like, don't ask me that, dude. But I after looking at that, I'm like, there was no front door, back door, anything. It was living room motion, which, could have been anything but living room motion. Somebody went downstairs, simulating the window. Somebody came back upstairs, and then just walked around upstairs for a little while, and that was it. So, see, I mean,
right.
Somebody was inside. They didn't, and this is where she tried to play it off. She played it off like she lost her garage, like somebody went into her car, got the garage door opener, and then magically one day the garage door opener was dropped on the front porch, like in a little hidden spot, like somebody had come up and, peacefully returned it. So, yeah, and she admitted later that she never fully admitted the first one. She never answered me, but the second one, she's like, yeah, because I was scared and blah blah blah. So, yeah, that's that.
Let me take another quick break, and then when I come back, we'll try again. Okay? Take some breaths, drink some water. I'll be right back. Okay?
At 9:22 p.m., following Al's second interview, he makes a phone call to Harley. And then at 9:51, Letitia's cell phone connects to the Wi-Fi at the Hilton Honors at 1810 Briargate Parkway. And then 3 minutes later, she connects to the Starbucks Wi-Fi and then immediately makes a FaceTime phone call to Harley, and they speak on FaceTime for 6 minutes and 33 seconds. And then Letitia makes a web search on colorado.gov, CBI Amber Alert. She's looking up Colorado active Amber Alerts. She's trying to figure out what's going on here. And then immediately after that, Harley sends her a text. As soon as I opened the garage, they stopped me. They were hiding out. Wow. But I think I'm allowed to leave. Why wouldn't you be allowed to leave?
Okay, guys, so this is, the FaceTime call that we heard about, Letitia bitching about this part, right? Where they were watching the house and Riley tried to leave and they wouldn't let her leave. Well, or they were there, right? So this is interesting.
I don't know. I want my dogs and you. At first, they wouldn't until Lena got here. Until people took Lena. Who took Lena? Detectives. Why did they take her? I don't know. Is she back? Told them I'm not going anywhere or saying anything. No, just keep saying that. Tell me what that guy says at the door. Has any other family asked where I was? Or family? Grandma, she asked if you were okay. Does she know they set me up? No. Is it on the news? They are wanting to talk to me. Have to get an attorney fast. Are you there? I don't know. What's the guy saying? Nothing. He just took pictures. Of what? The entire house? What's Landon been doing? She's not here. Trying to get back with Albert. Who is there? Just me. I've been set up. So just you and Albert. No, just me. Where did Albert go? And the dogs. He hasn't been here.
Okay, guys, and she's been talking with Al or texting with him. She knows where he's at, right? And again, here we see this jealousy for Landon, right? Where's Landon at? Trying to get back with Al? No, she's trying to find her freaking son. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now, Letitia, weirdo?
Why is there a detective there with you, an underage minor? I don't know, but I'm asking if I can leave. Tell them you're uncomfortable with these men. If not, you need to call 911 and tell them they are making you stay there. And then the fed up Letitia sends a long text message to Al at 10:16 p.m. Why? Tell them one of their on met me and told me what was going on and how you turned on me. I can't believe you. I'm not stupid. They said for you to say that. It will come out. I'm being set up. I knew you were lying the whole time this afternoon. It has already been leaked to me. Makes me thankful there are crooked people in the blues who are working just as hard, pushing back secretively. So she's trying to make Al feel like the police are working with her against him, trying to switch the roles here. And then she sends a text message to Harley. Hello, I don't be there. Harley, I don't like you there by yourself. And Harley read the text message and then she FaceTimed Letitia and they speak for 16 minutes and 15 seconds. And then Al at 10:24 shows up at the sheriff's office once again with a follow-up interview. And here is that interview.
In contact with Lena. She's okay. And as Harley as well.
Yeah, Harley texted me finally said Lena's there.
Okay. Okay. Lena's coming down here. Okay. Harley didn't want to come down.
Right.
Okay. So I want to ask you a few things and confirm some stuff. Okay. When was the last time that you spoke on the phone with Gannon?
Spoke on the phone?
Yeah. Is that normal? Did you speak to him on the phone, or is it by text?
So when I would, the days that I'd be at work, I'd call sometimes. But normally it's text message.
Okay.
Sometimes we call, but I can't take my cell phone into work.
Okay.
And normally, if I'm not at work, then I'm at home. I would say 90% of the time I'm there when they're there.
Okay.
Or with them. So now he talks to his mom regularly between his phone and his phone, my phone, and the iPad.
Okay.
But,
Okay. So when the whole candle incident happened, was that by text message?
Yeah, he sent me a text about it. Tisha had told me about it, though.
Okay.
I don't remember talking to him about it.
The text messages from Gannon's phone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
There's something not adding up on the phone.
No, we're just confirming stuff. We're just
yeah. So I mean, I showed you the
we got to make sure that we dot the I's and
yeah. The only thing he mentioned, I don't remember if I talked to him or not. I'm gonna be honest. I talked to Lena that yesterday, and I said, call me back when Gannon gets home. I don't remember whose phone it was from. I don't know. I can look up here from my phone records. It's been a while since I've talked to him on the phone, on the cell phone. So, yeah, Tisha, random numbers, Pastor, Jessica. Yeah, it's been a while. What is this? I have a lot of calls in the past few days. So, well, yeah, this is all yesterday and today, so I don't even have a detailed call record. I don't even know if I can look that up on here. But yeah, I don't talk to him often on the phone. Okay. Like I said, I'm either at work or usually with him.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So would you be willing to sign a search waiver for your house so we can go see if there's anything in the house that would help out this investigation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So I rent. Is that an issue?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do that. Something just comes to mind. I don't know if it's related or not, but she actually pointed it out to me today that Gannon's light switch coming out of his room downstairs had some blood on it. She claimed it was from him picking his fingers, which he does, but that it was kind of, I thought it was odd, but I just, you know, I hadn't gone to this point in my thought process yet, so I don't know, maybe totally unrelated, but on the little panel light switch.
So just like that light switch there.
No, it's one of those where like you switch a button or whatever.
Okay. Square box type
Yes.
thing. Okay.
So like you go down the stairwell, his bedroom's to the left, immediately to the left.
Okay.
And it's on that wall right there. It's actually not in his room. It's the little small, short little hallway. Like, and she's like, I really got to clean that. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Okay. I'm going to take another quick break. Then we'll get a quick search waiver.
Yeah, cool.
And we'll get that filled out so we can work that while we're still talking.
Okay, I'm glad this.
Okay, guys, so this is again the way that Sebastian's case should have been handled, right? So while we're talking to you, let me go get the waiver for you to sign off for us to search, right? So they're gonna go work that, and that's when, of course, we're gonna see in this interview that, you know, Lena's been picked up and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to point out that part.
Absolutely. Hello?
Hi, Al. This is Katie Blaze with Channel 5 News. We spoke just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw a comment on Facebook, I believe it's from your wife, T, about some announcement that the sheriff's office is going to be making, and that Gannon may have been seen on Academy last night. Are you able to give us any information about that?
Yeah, so let's do this. We probably need to pump the brakes because I don't know if that's valid or not. She may have said that, and that was somebody mentioned that somewhere along the way. I don't know if that's valid or not. So probably not a good idea to put that out there. And yeah, just stand by, and I'll get back with you as soon as I hear anything. And I know, and just for your information, I know that Facebook is, you know, sometimes you can get information from it, but that, I don't know if you've looked at it, that thing is like, I don't even have Facebook, but that thing has gotten way out of hand. People point fingers, talking junk, and it's just, yeah, so that would be my recommendation. I'm actually up here at the investigator's office now, so if I get any information, I'll let you guys, you know, in due process, I'll let you know, so.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, and I'm the only one that leaves, so she doesn't say so, but.
Pretty standard, okay. We're going to do premises. Okay, so what I need you to do is read through it, make sure you understand it. Print your name there, your date of birth.
Okay.
The address.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll just put
no luck on the vehicle yet, though?
Not that I'm aware of, but honestly, I'm not in contact with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So the address here.
Okay.
Initials wherever it says initials.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any attachments?
No, just garage.
Outbuildings,
no,
sheds, anything like that? Okay. Again, your address here.
Okay.
Okay. Initial. For the premises, you don't have to initial the vehicle part.
Okay.
But just read through that, and they can get going on that while we're still talking.
And Lena is on the way, or?
Yes, Lena is on the way.
Did she put up any resistance to that?
I don't believe so. We have a detective that is bringing her here as we speak.
Address right here.
No, that's the vehicle, so address on this line right here. Right here. Premises?
Here as well.
No vehicle. And then address again here.
Okay. Do you need to do my vehicle? It's here. I'm more than.
Oh, we may. But we'll do a separate one.
Okay, fine.
Okay. If we need to do that.
Yeah, like I said, I'll tell you everything I got in there that of any consequence.
And then just initial there, and then sign at the bottom.
Signed.
Then I will sign and get this out. Yes, please. 28th. I'm not sure.
What were we, January?
January still, for a few more days.
Yep. It's 16 years in on the 30th.
It's a long time. That's good though.
Yeah,
all right. Let me get this out there so we can get rolling on that, and I'll be right back.
Has Landon showed up yet?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
can I walk out there or no?
Well, she's actually in a different interview room.
Okay, fine. Yes, sir.
We'll make sure that you're able to talk to her, because I know it's a
She had her brother with her?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I know it's a big stressor. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want to make sure she's good.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Yeah, in Detroit, I think he's very worried about, Lena and, the fact that she just got picked up by the police, how she's feeling about it. He asked if she had any resistance to it. And, he said no, not that they know of. Hopefully Bethel went and got her, because I'm sure she felt comfortable with a lady, with her being a little girl. So hopefully that was a smooth transition for her, because, again, it's so sad.
Do you guys have joint accounts?
Yes, I actually tried a while back to get her to separate them. I know I realized I can get my own, but I went that route, and she refused.
You have access to it on your phone?
My account?
Yeah.
To see if she brings it out or something.
Well, see if she's using a card or.
Well, she's claims she doesn't have a debit card right now.
Okay.
She left it somewhere at one point, so she keeps taking mine. So.
Well, just to see if there's been any transactions here
recently.
Yeah.
No,
no transactions.
Well, I mean, all that I've made.
Okay.
Like Fort Sill Starbucks, because I was there. This parking meter right here, Chick-fil-A. Harley went and got that today. Fuel I got today or yesterday.
But nothing here in the last.
No, nothing abnormal there.
Okay.
But hold on, she might have my Bank of America card. I'll just check to make sure. Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
So, looks fine.
Okay. Well, sometimes we're able to locate people just off of transactions. So.
Tisha?
Yeah.
She's home. Wasn't she?
No.
Harley said she was there.
No.
Oh.
Not with the information that I got.
Oh, just saying. So I just figured that's probably. I was probably scared her out of mine.
And maybe I didn't get all the information.
Well, looking back, she didn't tell me that. So, makes more sense why his phone is off. She doesn't want to be found. But see, the whole thing about that search on Gannon's phone, the Google search, made absolutely no sense. My son doesn't think like, once again, going back to that, he never said that the whole time, until now because now it kind of fits the agenda. But I was like, that doesn't look at his search history, and she goes in and like manipulates and deletes stuff off his phone. Once again, he may have learned how to do that. Okay, right. I don't know, but I know she has used his phone. That's because I had to like, say that's not your backup or whatever. Okay. So whatever.
So if we've covered some of this prior, I apologize. We just want to make sure that we've got it. Okay. Does Gannon have a Facebook or any other social media?
Not that I am aware of. Okay. If he does, it's someone else's creative.
What about your wife? Does she have a Facebook?
So way back, yeah. So she has Instagram. Okay. For sure. Way back, we kind of made a pact to get rid of it. Whether she has her own or not, I don't know. She uses Harley's a lot.
Okay. What is Harley's Facebook? You know?
I don't have Facebook, so I don't even get on it. I haven't even been on it in years.
What about your wife's Instagram? Okay.
Okay, so they're asking about more social media for a reason, guys, and then this part is going to be redacted. And so that's why it's missing audio. So just so you guys know, hey Carla, good to see you, an animal mother. So good to see you. Thank you for being here. So yeah, this part is a mystery about what they're talking about here, because they've already talked about social media and he's coming back in and asking more questions about it, and then they redacted this part.
What am I doing with my search? Well, so on the name, it looks like on it doesn't 100%, but she never heard of it.
So are you aware of any, kind of hard if he can and doesn't have Facebook, are you aware of any online friends he may have? Maybe through TikTok or something like that?
I'm not.
Okay.
Because to my knowledge, he doesn't have any of those accounts, so
right.
I've never dug into it.
What about your wife? Do you know any online friends?
I mean, there's a lot of the people that she follows or whatever you call it that I know or recognize, and then there's a lot that I don't.
Okay.
Once again, I just don't. I don't waste time worrying about that stuff.
Right. Okay.
Maybe I should, but I just chose a long time ago not to let that ruin my life.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, I mean, I could probably pinpoint most of them, but some of them I have no freaking clue who they are. So, okay. Yeah, whatever.
So you mentioned the VW OnStar earlier, or their version of
Cornet or whatever it is. Yeah.
Is that a constant active, or
I don't?
Okay, guys, and I forgot totally about this until just now with the Volkswagen Tiguan. It said that Lori, Katie's friend, also drives a Tiguan. I don't know, but that is a weird thing because I remember when this case came out, everyone was mispronouncing the Tiguan, and I probably am right now too, but it was funny because, people were calling it all kinds of stuff. So, right, Detroit. Hey, Brad. Brad was asking if Seth's here. I was going to try to shake him out of the bushes if he's here. That's funny. Detroit says, Seth, you were being summoned. But yeah, so again, the Tiguan, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go with that. So, I forgot to mention that yesterday.
No, I thought about that if you left, and I can pull up the VIN number from the.
Okay, that'd be great.
I don't know if that's how you access it or how they would need to access it, but
okay.
What are they called? They are called.
auto IDs, I think. He's on Frontier. Volkswagen Tiguan. And Holly has not responded whether her mom's there or not, so.
The older I get, the harder it is to see.
Can you call it up to you? Oh, you can zoom in some more if you need to. Okay.
All right. I think we may have that already, but I'm not sure, so I want to
Okay.
make sure we got that. So we're kind of back to where we were the last time you were in. Is there anything that you can think of? Well, I want to ask another question here. You said that your wife told you there was some blood downstairs on the light switch.
Mm-hmm.
Did she mention any blood elsewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then she said it was from him biting his fingers.
Is that normal?
That he bites his fingers or that he bites them bloody?
Bloody.
I mean,
no
more than maybe that, or maybe you got a little dapple.
Where you're going to leave?
No.
Okay.
Never seen him do that before. No. But so then, if the story is invalid, she used the candle incident where he spilled the candle and freaked out over that to say he was, I noticed he was biting his fingers so bad because he was worried about the candle. Okay. I've never seen him do that. I've seen him bite his fingers. I bite my fingers. It's, people do it. It's never habit or whatever. But I've never seen him get him to where it's like, I mean, it almost looked like chocolate streaked on there. I kind of thought it might have been, it's kind of gross, but, he had an accident in his pants and got some in his finger and didn't know what to do, whatever. Right. That's what it looked like to me. And then she's like, oh, it's blood from his fingers. I'm like, that's weird. So.
Okay, so, I mean, if people bite like the sides of their fingers, I think that's what he's talking about when he's talking about him picking at his fingers and stuff like that. So, that's not going to cause a great amount of blood or it, with it being left behind on the light switch, right? They have the ones that kind of push in, they're on the panel and, they push in. Or I should say kind of down or up, but it's not the ones that flip down and up. It's the ones that you push. So there was, a big stain on there and he's going to get into that again. This is a big red flag, because obviously there's a lot. And, as Holly was saying too, about it being such a gruesome scene, it was absolutely horrific, Brad says, lady, I forgot to ask who finished the cake at the protest. So I don't know. I did not have any cake because I'm the type of person where I don't know. I like to eat regular food. I'm not a huge cake person anyway. But I'm assuming, I think they took it home. Detroit said, I wonder if they gave it to Snuggles. Snuggles. Oh shit. I know we offered them cake. They were so hateful. They were like, we couldn't even win them over with a slice of cake. So, but I don't know. I mean, I hope somebody took it home and, shared it with people. It was an awesome cake. Like it had a dragon and stuff like that. I like making sweets. I'm not a big sweets person, but I like making that kind of stuff. And that dragon, logo that they put on the cake was fucking awesome. So, and yes, Brad, we do love Seth dearly here. Even though he's a pain in the butt and he's, says that he copyright struck me last night. I'm just kidding. Just in the chat, he's like, oh, Lady Freedom takes my ideas. So, oh my goodness, he's a stinker. So, but there was like chocolate and yellow cake. So, but it looks really, really good, so Yeah, well, exactly, Carla. Katie's story has changed many times, just like this step devil. Step devil, that's funny as hell. Yeah, that's exactly what yeah, we're dealing with here. Neither helps search, neither sheds a tear, neither thinks of anyone but themselves. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Like seriously. I mean, it's so obvious, right? And then they're complaining in the beginning, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people are looking at me sideways. Well, they're all out searching. In Gannon's case, it was out in the snow. Sebastian's case, the weather was rainy, and again, I can't say how treacherous them woods are, you know. They really are. So Snuggles. Detroit. But he said he's never seen him bite them bloody before and had a second thought after the fact. Right, because yeah, I mean like, here's the thing, it is a nervous thing, and Gannon was going through a lot and then for them to say that, that's how some blood got on and the thing is she had a lot of it to clean up, and you guys were saying earlier about him running away from her, and he probably was, but she seemed like she was like making him go all these places. I wonder how much or if any when they processed her that red truck, right? Like how much did they find in the truck? Because there had to have been if she in fact was hurting him or whatever, unless he was only burned by that point. um Poor Gannon. I mean, it's just horrible, you know Pokemon hunters. That's cool, little Miss Sharon. Safe travels. But yeah, so I mean, boy, yeah, really, really sad.
Okay, now, is there anything else that you can think of right at this moment that I failed to ask or you think would be important?
No, I can't think of anything. I mean, we talked about leaving the kids at the house. Talked about but as far as the relationship goes, I know you asked me that one earlier. So, and the thing that I've got on her the most about is the in and out. Like when and considering these are moments of trust instead of moments of like that right now, I'd say, you need, should be all in, like helping kids, teach, doing homework, cooking, or feeding them and stuff. And then there'll be days and weeks when it's like kids will fend for themselves while I'm at work, And because I'll ask, I'll be like, what'd you do for dinner? Oh, teacher said we should make ramen noodles or whatever. I'm just like, So they noticed that, and they've even said, especially when I work in the mornings, that sometimes she won't even like get up and help them get dressed for school. She'll lay her clothes out, or tell them, talk shit because they don't know. My daughter doesn't know how to match or whatever. Right. But she won't. My son's like, no, she doesn't help us out. So stuff like that. I mean, it may come across petty, but adding up all the pieces makes sense. So, but yeah, nothing else off the top of my head. Nothing else of significance.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you just to hang out here for now.
Okay.
And then once we're done with Landon, then we'll probably take you down there to that other room and let you talk to her.
What about Lane? Has she made it yet?
I don't know. As soon as she comes, we'll make sure that you get to see her.
Okay, great.
All right. So just hang out, and we'll try and do it as quick as we can. I can't guarantee a time frame, though. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, guys, and I also wanted to say too that I think that there
right,
was I think I said earlier that Landon was questioned the next day. She's actually questioned that night when she arrives, right, to Colorado. So I wanted to just fix that because I think I misspoke earlier when we were talking about it. So I mean, but again, look at how they're knocking these interviews out with the parents, right? So for Sebastian, it should have been, you know, Chris and Katie, whatever they do their three-way call or whatever they did, right? Report Sebastian missing, right? They should have secured the house because that's where he went missing from, and they should have taken the parents down, right, to the station. Or if they at least made sure no one else was there except for Katie, right? Not all these other people, and then maybe even waited and interviewed them, but at least at the police station. This is the key right here. They needed to be doing this with all three parents knocking out these interviews, and they would have figured it out right away, just like this, in my opinion. The house of cards would come tumbling down on them.
Who owns the VW?
Which one?
The one that's missing, yeah.
It's leased under her name alone.
Okay, so you wouldn't have, it's just her name, not you at all.
Nope, she never won't even let me touch the keys.
Okay.
So.
Okay, because I just found out if you're the registered owner or lease, that you should be able to get a hold of VW and find out where it's at. But if you're not on it at all, I doubt that they would.
You'd have to have you guys would have to have a subpoena or something.
So we'll see what we can do with that.
All right.
Okay. We're still waiting on Lena. As soon as she gets here, we'll get you guys.
So thought about this. I don't like questioning my children.
Right.
But maybe Lena can provide some insight into if Gannon was really home.
Okay.
I don't like. I talked to her. Like I told you, I talked to her when she got home from school, and she said he was playing. I don't remember if she saw him or what. So, because and I don't like doing this, but Facebook, I'm getting people telling me Facebook is saying that something probably this stepmom, something probably happened at the hike or after the hike or something like that. So maybe Lena can just answer that one question. And maybe I can do it with her, and y'all can watch. I'm fine with that. If you deem that necessary.
Okay.
I can just ask her when she saw.
I'll pass it along, and we'll see what. Because there are certain things that we have to go by. So I'll.
Right. And I don't want to get my daughter too involved, but
right. No, I got you.
I think she can answer one or two questions like that, and that'll be okay.
So as soon as she gets here, we'll get you guys reunited here and let you relax a little bit. They're still talking with Landon, and then we'll get you guys together so you can talk and do what you need to. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Stand by. Did you get my email?
I haven't even looked at it.
Right.
Sorry.
No, I was just making sure.
I'll get it. I'm sure.
Okay, Cinderella. So she gets Gannon to Florida by driving. Her and Harley drive, and
Still waiting.
Florida.
Somewhere there was a miscommunication. She's on her way now, so probably about 20 minutes. Okay. She has been with the detective.
Okay.
The whole time though. Okay. And they're heading out to go through the house real quick.
Okay.
Get that taken care of. Okay. So Lena will come up. I'm not sure whether Harley will come. Initially, she said she didn't want to, but we don't know for sure.
Okay.
We'll see if she comes with. And I know you sent me screenshots. They wanted me to ask just if you would be willing to download the phone. If you don't, it's okay.
I mean, I don't have anything to hide, but like, what more do you need? Do you need more screenshots? Do you need? I mean, why?
Well,
what do you want to see?
Generally, like, yeah, I'm okay with the screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they like to go and get as much historical stuff as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so totally up to you.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't see it necessary right now.
That's fine. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, are y'all to the point of like pointing a finger at somebody?
Okay, guys, so this is where I started like side-eyeing Al again, and I forgot about this part, and I was like, oh, holy crap, I forgot he was kind of acting a little standoffish or indignant or like, hey, I don't want you guys looking at my shit. That sort of thing with Al right now. And it's interesting that now he's kind of being more defensive and he's like, are you guys pointing the finger at somebody yet? Right? And he only wants to send screenshots. That's it. Right, little Miss Sharon. Yeah, Brad, you're at a good age. So back to the 90s, yeah. The 90s were good, right? Well, and I'll tell you, I had some really cute corduroys that I wore back in the day. Um, Yeah, so I mean, here's the thing. Al's getting a little bit froggy, right, with the situation, and I can't say I don't blame him there. But again, he's really like wondering what's up at this point, even though he knows. So it is kind of I don't want to say like concerning or alarming. It's just interesting to watch it play out because there's a lot that he doesn't want to disclose.
Yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so
Not yet. So,
when we get there, maybe.
okay.
Like I said, I have nothing to hide. I just
You don't have to explain.
Gotta-
Okay. You don't have to explain.
um
I'm straight up with you. I'm here to find your kid.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what I'm worried about
Um,
now is Tisha's out there, phone off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have the same thought process that
Mhm.
what is she doing? If what we're thinking is true. So
Well, I've been doing this a long time, so I try not to overthink stuff. Okay. There's some things that happen that look really bad that don't turn out that way.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
and then there's other stuff that does turn out how you think. So I try not to look at anything like that. I try to go through it and process it with the information that is available to me at that time. And until I can specifically say this all points to this very specific thing, I try not to do that.
they've been in and out for a while. My ring keeps going off. Did you take this?
Okay. So that's what we're waiting on. We will we'll get the search done real quick. Shouldn't take much. And then get Lena down here. I will probably talk to Lena. Okay, and just ask her a few questions. I'm actually a forensic interviewer.
Do I have to authorize that?
You don't have to. I can do it without your consent. I don't want to do that. Okay, so it's a very specific form of interviewing. It's child-led. Okay, it's not. I don't
get to watch it.
I don't think they'll let you watch it. Okay, I'll talk to you after. That's how it normally happens. I'm not going to point fingers. I'm not going to lead her in any way.
Yeah, I don't know. I just that was a thing. She doesn't get any representation.
Well, it's a child-led interview. If she tells me something, she tells me something. If she doesn't,
Okay. I'm not once again. I'm not worried about what she's going to say. I'm trying to.
No, I mean she's not in trouble at all. We're trying to figure out some of the stuff like we talked about.
Yeah.
Did she actually see Gannon? That kind of thing. That's it, really.
Okay. All right. But is Lena still in there talking? She butt dialed me, so I ended up hearing some of what she was saying, and then I hung up. I'm like, I don't hear this crap.
Right.
So,
no, she's as far as I'm aware, they're still talking. I'm not. I've been totally honest with you. I'm not going to try to bullshit you now. Okay. Excuse my language.
No,
but, I'll tell you straight up. That's why I came in and told you I'll talk to her. I am a trained forensic interviewer.
Okay.
Okay. I will not ask leading questions of her at all, not in any way, shape, or form. But that's especially that what we talked about is very specific. That
yeah, I mean the information needs to be put out one way or the other. I agree. I agree.
I'm not going to ask, specifics. Well, what happened here? What happened here? That's not how those are. It's all child led.
Okay.
Okay, and again, it's a child-led interview. He's trying to ease his mind about that, but Al does not want them to speak with, Lena by herself, right? He wants to be in there with her. And the detective's like, no, we're going to conduct that interview. And I just find it interesting because, this is where Al really, I don't know how to put it. Again, I think it's just the walls crumbling down, right? Tumbling down upon him. And he's just like, holy shit, right? And then bringing, his daughter in there, how it may affect her. And again, I think a lot of it is disbelief at this point. Just, it's disbelief, I think.
Okay, so it's going to be whatever information that's provided comes from her. It doesn't come from me. The stuff we've talked about, none of that's going to be brought up. It's all from her. Okay, so, and it's not in a room like this. Okay, it's our soft room. It's got a couch. It's got some paintings on the wall.
I get that one. You told me I wasn't in any trouble. But I've been in the padded room the whole time.
I spend a lot of time in these rooms, so I feel you. But
You ain't seen a padded room until you see where Letitia ends up with the FBI guy. Yeah.
If I'm just this way, if I thought that I could come in here and say, this is what happened, I think this is what happened, I would tell you that.
Yeah, I agree that there's a lot of ambiguity across the board still.
But I don't know.
I agree.
I'm still looking for your boy. So everything that I'm doing right now is totally for him and for you. I'm not looking at anybody as being guilty of doing anything to him. I'm looking for him.
Good morning,
so
Faye.
If there's, questions you have, anything like that, ask me. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm just kind of.
I know it's
tired.
I
slept 2 hours in the past 2 days. So trying not to get frustrated being in the room.
Right.
Straight up. I want to see my daughter.
Well, if you want to come out, we'll get you out.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to be cooped up in here more.
Okay.
I'm not getting frustrated or upset or mad.
I hear you. I just thought, well, maybe you needed a little bit of time just to think a little bit.
No, I'm good.
You're good. We'll get you out.
I'm good. I mean.
Okay, and also, so here's Al's like, he's very much, I think he's also experiencing some anxiety, too, because I see you guys in the chat, he wants to protect, his little girl, and I agree with that too. I think there's a lot going on for Al right now, rightfully so, and it's just like, wow, right? Because Lover Girl says, I don't understand how he seems so calm when he doesn't know where Gannon is, and it rubs me the wrong way. I know, and I see that. I'm definitely, seeing some red flags, especially here when he's pressed to, give up his phone, right? He's very reluctant. He says, what are you looking for? I'll screenshot it, but doesn't want to do it, right? He's like, are you looking at anybody specifically? No. Okay, well, once we get there, then maybe. And then it shifts to, which, I mean, Al even said, well, I can ask, Lena if she saw Gannon at all that day. Because she said he was playing, but I don't think I don't know that that's accurate. It could be. But again, once Al's getting nailed down to, giving up information and then questioning. But he does seem nonchalant. And again, there's not a lot of urgency from anyone so far that we're seeing except for Landon, in my opinion. Right? Landon was like, she flipped the lid when she figured out that Lena was still at the house, right? I mean, even though Harley was there, but she was like, don't leave her, right? I want to make sure. And then also here's Al. He's also getting very anxious now too, and he's like, okay, I want to get out of here, right? And how come I couldn't have went in the nice room or blah blah blah. So I don't, he's probably feeling the heat, so um Carla says, I love padded rooms. The detective is on it. Yeah, he knows Al fears. Yep. Oh yeah. I agree. I agree with that, Sasha. The detective is on it and he knows Al is in fear of her knowing he suspects her. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think it's a big part of it too. I mean, he's got a lot going on right now, and then her not wanting to show up. It's like, okay, where are you at, Letitia? Um, yeah, just so much going on. Which he says, I think his desire to keep his phone and do the screenshots could be because literally everything is upside down and the only thing he can control is his phone, and it's probably subconscious. Yeah, that's a great point, Witchy. And, I agree that he's losing control big time. I mean, and two, you think about someone having to question your little one and you're not there, and what she must be thinking, um and all of that, and I do think that up into a certain point Al is feeling false senses of safety when it comes to Harley and Letitia, right? And Landon's like, what the heck, no, right? But in the same way, I agree. That's a big part of it, and his anxiety is definitely up. You can tell he's like, I want to get the hell out of here, and I can't blame him. I can't blame him one bit. Witchy says or excuse me, Carla says I agree. Witchy, I mean, so yeah, it's it's very tough to watch.
Yeah, I do want to see Landon, and then of course, I want to
Okay.
see my baby.
Well, we'll get you out here and sit you in the chairs right where we come in the door.
Okay.
And then as soon as she gets there, you'll see her as soon as she comes in the door. Okay.
While Al was giving his follow-up interview at the sheriff's office, Letitia was a busy little bee trying to spin her webs of lies and try to put the heat on others and not herself. She sends a long text message to Detective Bethel at 10:45, and she says, "What do you want from me? Because I have nothing. One of your very own leaked to me what you guys were doing. I did nothing or am being set up. I'm not really even sure, other than being told that by another blue from El Paso. I was told I couldn't go home to sleep. And on top of that, men were sent to a home with a minor female, and she was forced to stay there, not to even leave for food. Every conversation that said, even at this moment, I can hear inside. I have no idea what she means by that because it makes no sense. What do you want from me?"
Okay. There's Gannon. Okay, so really quick, I'm thinking, so she's complaining, right, to in about everything, the same things again, that Harley can't leave for food and she's forced to stay there. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's food in the fridge. She's not going to starve, there's food there. And then every conversation that said, even at this moment, I can hear inside. Right, and I think that, she might have been talking about how, she's been talking with Al, or excuse me, talking with the police, right? Because she's asking Al, excuse me, what do you want from me, right? Because I don't have anything, that sort of thing. So, a lot of the same elements of what she was talking to Al about in here that she's talking about now. Um, and again, like, what do you want from me? What they wanted from you, Letitia, was for you to come down to the station and talk to them, right? That's all they wanted. And they asked you to bring the toothbrush, and, you and your husband should have went down there together, and you didn't do that.
At this moment, I can hear inside. I have no idea what she means by that because it makes no sense. What do you want from me? And Detective Bethel replies, "Come in and talk to me." I would just like information to find Gannon, which is what everybody wants, Letitia. So, but Harley attempts to call her mother 4 times and there's no answer. And then she attempts to FaceTime Letitia twice and no answer. And then Letitia at 11:42 sends another text to Detective Bethel. My life is being ruined. Am I able to go in my home? I have nowhere to sleep. You said you asked me questions already. I tried to call. I didn't see a response from Detective Bethel on that. My life is ruined. Honey, your life is ruined because you ruined it the day that you chose to snuff the life out of an innocent child so that you could have all to yourself. That is what ruined your life.
Boom. I mean, the day that she took Gannon's life, she ruined her own life, you know? I mean, she has no one else to blame but herself.
Al pointed out something that really stood out to me. Letitia showed him blood on the light switch in the house.
All right, guys. So again, this is going to be, one of the exhibits, People's Exhibit 265, and we see the heavy saturation on the mattress. Just absolutely awful, right? And it's just like it just kind of spreads out, and then they're going to lift up the mattress, of course.
To me, that sounds like someone trying to create a story ahead of time.
All right. So, trying to create the story ahead of time to explain away the evidence. I definitely see elements of that here. But again, all over the side, right? So, very heavy amounts. And this is on the bed that's on that corner. It would be if you're looking, straight away at the window in there where the little table was underneath there. It would be the bed that was on the left side.
Time to explain away evidence that might later be found. I guess she.
All right, guys, and here's more on the carpet, right? I mean, unbelievable. And she's ripping up carpet and taking out pieces, and here's, oh, did you see my box cutter? She's showing them what she used.
Didn't think investigators would actually search the home of the missing child. Al also made it clear that he doesn't believe Letitia's stories are valid, and he suspects that she even manipulated Gannon's phone and deleted messages. That's a level of
And guys, these are some of the droplets and spatter and stuff that's being found around the house.
Control and deception that tells you exactly who she really is. Now, a quick note before we wrap up. The original video I obtained from the sheriff's office was misaligned. I did my best to enhance it and realign the audio with the movements you see, but it may not be perfectly synced.
Oh yeah, guys, I did notice that, but again, I didn't want to um hey, we're lucky to have this information and all of that. Again, these are the weapons that Al was speaking of in the last interview, and giving the list of what they had in the house.
In the next video, we'll move into the early morning hours of January 29th when Letitia comes up with yet another story about what happened to Gannon. You'll hear her in her own words during her video interview at the sheriff's office. And once again, you'll see that Letitia seems far more worried about herself than about a missing child.
Poor Gannon. Okay, guys, and now this is where you can see this marks, these spots here. And how they identify and they're kind of bagging and tagging the evidence. Okay, and here is where I wanted to show you as well. So it absolutely looks to me like, and again, this carpet was supposedly burn resistant, right? Supposedly. So it was probably maybe scotch guarded and all that stuff. But I think just the way that we're seeing, because if a candle dumps out, right, it's not going to make this type of, mess, in my opinion. And then there's also some wax here. So, I mean, it just seems like she poured the wax out strategically around. You could see, and some of the areas the wax had dried faster than others. You can tell. Um, and then again, here are some burn marks, right? You can see that here. So, I mean, I think she absolutely intentionally tried to hide that spot with the candle wax. Um so yeah, Carla says that was the bull crap about the candle being spilled on the carpet when she had cut the carpet. Right, exactly. Exactly. And a lot of it probably had to do with also that she couldn't get some of this stuff up, right? Because you even see it. And the thing, that I hate to mention again about this is that, you might have, a droplet of blood, and then, it kind of like fans out a bit, right? And kind of gets more and more faint. And so, you see these larger stains and things that are occurring from the pooling that you see, right? And so, yeah, it's just, I mean, it was a horrific scene in the house, and I do believe that everything that happened to poor Gannon did occur in the house. And then of course we know that there was a suitcase, and I do not think that the suitcase was purchased, because I do not remember hearing anything about her buying that item, right? We do know that Harley was sent out with Lena to get some cleaning supplies, right? For Letitia that day. So, oh yeah, Detroit. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm wondering if she wanted to see how the flow of things would go, and what they would look for, or if they would even try to, figure out what happened. Because Detroit says they didn't have sod during the staged robbery. First time, no footprints. Second time, almost a perfect match in shoe size. So creepy. Yeah. And, the thing about her sneakers and everything, they very well could have been in the home at that time, right? When the police were looking, because they were in like a laundry basket, and the officer was just kind of like going in there with his flashlight, and he wasn't turning on the lights, right? So, again, I'm sure that's why they have the flashlights and stuff. But if he would have flipped that light switch on, and those sneakers would have been, sole side up, or even on the sides, you could see them when they're even lying on the sides. You can see a large amount where she actually, it looks like she was stepping in poor little Gannon's, blood. So they did have the suitcase for a long time, Harley said. Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say thank you, Carly, because I was gonna say I don't remember there ever being, receipts on her buying one, or her taking a trip over to, Target, Walmart, whatever. So yeah, this is a candle spot. This is the candle spot, right here. So, because you can kind of see the wax and stuff. Um, but again, her pouring it out, because, and especially even if it was like one of those big ones, um, oh, okay, witchy. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I think she tried to set a fire, but Gannon woke up and it wouldn't catch. Yeah, because I mean, you can see how, I mean, there's different spots. I wish this was a more, I wish this was a better picture, right? But I mean, you could just see it. Like, if you look right here, there's different layers of wax that were poured. You can see it, the way the wax is set it's set, excuse me. So, and then there's like a big glob over here. Um, so yeah. Yeah, I think everything, was happening. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Sasha. I mean, I heard that Harley, and especially I guess during the trial as well, it was brought up that she dealt with a lot of physical blows from Letitia as well. If she said something that Letitia didn't like, something like that. So, oh, that's interesting. Groot says, "Why does the top of that look like a shape of a head and a shoulder?" Oh, that's a good question. I see that. Yeah. Um, yeah, I see what you mean. Here and then here. Ugh, I don't know. I mean, what did she like? I see what you're saying, Groot. You know, as if because also some of this wax is gone. So did she push Gannon's face into the wax or something? And then like he laid down on, like she poured the hot wax on the carpet and I see what you're saying. Oh my, oh my. Mm. I don't know. She's just a real horrible, horrible, horrible person. Sasha says, I see. That's odd. Very odd. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is. It's quite a ways, right? Over 1,000 miles. Thanks, Carla. Yeah, how far away from Gannon's house was he found? I mean, she just kept driving and driving and driving. So there's a lot to and also she wasn't arrested until about I want to say a month later, was it? Um but yeah, so I think this is the last picture in the bunch. Okay, yes it is. Um so I will take that down and there's so much more to go over as well. And I also have that video. I need to drop it as what too for Sebastian's case. Because there's something really interesting I wanted to show you guys, and I wanted to show you this video, so I need to get it up. But I want to continue looking into all of this because as we get to Letitia's side of the story, we're going to get more of the liar part, right? More of the part that where, yeah, Al might be standoffish about his electronics, about disclosing certain information. But again, Al might be a little bit too more old school about stuff where you don't share your business, stuff like that. So, I mean, I obviously don't think that Al ever had any, involvement. It wasn't like, he liked any of this or wanted any of this. I just think it was the walls tumbling down. Um, I wonder what store she bought the cigars from. She probably Yeah, that's a good question, Detroit. Yeah, she was probably at another location that was a ways away from the house. Yeah. And, she was talking about like, "Oh, I don't have a place to stay. I don't have a place to stay." But she leaves Harley there, right? Probably because she didn't want to take Lena. But I also I mean, she had a hotel, and I know she was, like, around in the area too, so and I know there'll be some more videos where we're gonna be able to track some of her movements because I know that there's, several channels out there, um, and Witchy, thank you too for sending those other ones, I'm gonna message you on the Discord too after I get off of here, but, um had meds in his system to make him tired and not able to fight her, blunt force trauma and shot stabbed 20 times. Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's just horrific, and brutal what she did. Um, just the fact that she's getting another shot at this is absolutely horrific in my opinion, in and of itself. Well, that's the thing. I think she had him hidden out. I think she hid him for a long time, until she took her little trip. And they were trying to find her too. She was out there and, they couldn't really get her. Um, but we're gonna go over all of it because again, we're gonna have Al who's gonna be starting to talk to her on recorded lines, and at certain points, they get to the point where, there's sticky notes involved and the FBI is feeding Al lines to say and questions and things like that. So it's a very interesting process what they went through and the lengths they went through. I don't understand why they didn't do this in Sebastian's case. Again, there's no reason why Chris and Katie should be walking free from this, right? And not telling us where Sebastian is because they know. In my opinion, they know. And we all kind of know. So, um, but I'm gonna hop off here, guys, because I do want to put that out because I'm thinking, maybe there's something to this, right? That I figured out, and trying to just, a way to put it, because I do have one last little missing piece that I'm not sure about, but I might just have to ask you guys for some help on it. So I love you guys all very, very much, and I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. We'll do a live, even if it's not, even if I'm not allowed or not allowed, even if I'm not able to put the video up for us to review next, because it is going to be a long one. Um, we'll still just, do a live anyway. So, I love you too, Mama. Thank you so much for being here. She did confess, Faye. Yep. And they found him in Florida. She put his little body in a suitcase and she threw it over a bridge. And they were doing maintenance on one of the bridges. And they found Gannon because she thought that it was, that he was gonna be pushed out into the Gulf of Mexico. And, she thought wrong. So, it's just so sad. So, oh, great. Thank you, Groot. Okay, I need to check it. Thank you so much. I haven't been on the Discord today at all. But I will. I'm gonna check that right after I get off of here. So, okay, fantastic. I will DM you back. Um, Right, exactly. Yeah, right. Exactly. She couldn't run any further east without turning into a tugboat for sure. For sure. Yeah, she had to have. She had to have Detroit, and that's what I kind of want to get into is like her movements as well because, either he was still in the house, right? Or she took him somewhere, and I just don't think that she chanced keeping him in the house, not with Al there, and obvious reasons. She did this in a very short window. So she must have had the place that she was gonna put Gannon, and that sort of thing. And again, it absolutely reminds me of poor little Harmony, right? Because they had her in the duffel bag originally, bring her to different places. One thing I was thinking of is she could have been going to the mountains and stuff, or but it was cold enough in January and February and that where she could have found plenty of places to bury Gannon in the snow or something like that in Colorado, which is very scary and sad. Um, but I do believe that plays a big role. I just want to make sure I tell it right, as it went, because the events are. Also, I'm just kind of like stuck on these interviews, so um, yeah, it just is completely sickening. I mean, the trial was really, I mean, oh, everything that poor little baby went through, and what they put her through afterwards. It really upsets me that Kayla is in prison too. I think trunk of her car, and the car was missing. Yeah, because she was in the that's right. He was, excuse me, he was in the trunk, I do believe, right? Because obviously, but then I think she was moving him too, because I don't think she kept him in there very long. I just don't want to quote the time frame either, you know. But yeah, she had to have been moving, and she was moving around, right? And then she started doing things like turning her phone off and, going MIA, and, everything's going straight to voicemail. So, and they, thank you, Crazy Bird. Yeah. I know he was definitely in there. Yeah, I know he was definitely in there. So, but I know she had to have been moving him, again, more than just once, or just keeping him in there. Um, So, yeah, she is ratchet. She is ratchet. Oh, totally. Oh my gosh. Like I said, she's one of those ones that is like she's pure evil. So, poor little Gannon. Um, all right, guys. Well, like I said, I will see you guys all tomorrow afternoon, probably like around 3 o'clock. We'll shoot for 3 o'clock. All right. Have a great rest of your day.